Welcome, everyone, to the Islanders Never Say Die podcast. I'm your host, TJ, and with me again, as always, is our NHL analyst and expert, the Grumpy Old Man. They say there's no shame in his game because he is always the same.
That's me.
Grumpy. Rough loss tonight here. We are coming at you guys live after Game 3 of the Islanders against the Tampa Bay Lightning, a 2-1 loss for the Islanders, and now trailing the series 2-1 to the Tampa Bay Lightning.
That's true. I'm not upset tonight like I was on Tuesday night. There's things we need to do better as a team, but today I thought it was a masterclass effort by Tampa Bay for the most part, kind of like our first game was when we beat them in Tampa. I thought the games were very similar game plan, and a couple of breaks went their way, a couple of calls went their way, and unfortunately it cost us. But can you really say, with the exception of Barzal and maybe a little bit of the fourth line, were we really a threat today to score? I didn't think so.
I'm shocked you said this one didn't upset you as much as games past have. I got a little bit of a different take. We're going to talk about a Charmin soft call. We will. But again, the referees are not the reason we lost tonight. Again, as it wasn't the reason we lost in Game 2 either. But you can make an argument tonight, a much stronger argument that, hey, maybe the referees did have a little bit more of a say in the outcome of tonight's game.
Yeah, they certainly had they certainly had an effect on the outcome of the game. And you're talking about, of course, the Adam Pelican penalty, which was it's a terrible call. And it's not just.
We'll talk about it, Grump, but really quickly, before we get into it too much, we do have an ad to read here from DraftKings. The second round of the playoffs there is in full swing of action, and the NBA and NHL playoffs, third round for the NHL playoffs, that is. This is where the contenders are separated from the pretenders. To give you some skin in the game, DraftKings will be offering free-to-play pools every day of the NBA and NHL playoffs, offering players a free shot at $10,000 in total prizes. That's up to $10,000 in total prizes up for grabs each day. The best part is it's free to play. DraftKings free-to-play pools are easy to enter. Just download the DraftKings app and go to pools and choose from a wide variety of free contests for an opportunity to win cash prizes. All you have to do is answer a handful of questions around what you think is going to happen during that day's basketball games and track your results throughout the evening. Questions will range from which team will hit the most threes to which team will score first. And DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable, so you can deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. Download the top-rated DraftKings app now and use the promo code THPN when you sign up to get your free shot at $10,000 in total prizes. every day of the NHL and NBA playoffs. Again, head to the DraftKings pool page now to get your huge shot at cash prizes. Again, that's promo code THPN for limited time only at DraftKings. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for full details. Grumpy.
You messed up at the end, but you could have done worse. So I'll give you a B on that one.
Oh, you're
getting
me a B.
Better though. You are getting better.
And maybe it's because I've been reading that one for the last 3 weeks.
Well, that's what I was saying. How long you been reading that same ad? Because I realize you probably only done it 20 or 30 times now, and you're almost getting it where you're not making any mistakes. Kudos to you, TJ.
Takes a lot of time and effort. Islander fans, though, yikes, a rough one. That is, there's no doubt about it. Tonight was a rough one. You talked about the Pellick. We're gonna dive into that in depth, but overarching issue, I guess you could say, of tonight's game is our third and fourth lines were the best lines out there on the ice for the Islanders. Not even close. Production via the second line and the first line. Second line was atrocious from start to finish, absolutely awful. And first line, what do you expect? You've got Leo Komarov. Oh, I'm sorry. You have Leo Komarov, an excellent first line left winger, as Arthur Staple will tell you. But what are you expecting from the first line? Our third and fourth lines were outstanding, though, tonight.
I mean, I don't know what Trotz is thinking at this point. Does he not look at the lineup and say, we can't score against these guys? Because guess what? Unless it's Matt Barzal doing something or Tampa Bay doing something dumb like throwing the puck back at the goalie in a scrum, we have no shot. I mean, Leo Komarov today had 3 primetime scoring chances, and he can't even hit the net. I mean, I'm sorry. How long do you have to watch that? I mean, does he just? I mean, maybe he's just happy just losing every game 2-1, 1-0. Maybe that makes Trotz happy. It's just frustrating to me. You have some guys who have some offensive acumen, and you have no inclination to put them in the lineup. And I just don't understand that mentality. I mean, if you're afraid, okay, well, we might give up 3 goals. Well, here's the thing. You're never going to score with the lineup the way it is. And the second line, with the exception of Anthony Beauvillier, is so soft. My God. I mean, this reminds me of 4 years ago watching Nelson and Bailey out there, just soft. Man, I forgot because, Nelson has really improved recently under Trotz.
Yeah.
And I'd forgotten how soft a player he had been. But I'll tell you what, when the chips are really down against a good team, I mean, Tampa's a good team, they just shrink from the moment. Bailey, too, was just terrible. Nick Leddy was awful today. I mean, Tampa's good. Yeah, they dominated the action, but some of our guys really need to step up. I thought the guys who did, I thought Kyle Palmieri did today. I thought Matt Barzal did today. But it's tough when he's like 1-on-3 or 1-on-4. Where's everybody else? But I mean, I don't know. It's just frustrating. I didn't think Varlamov, he made a couple of good saves at the end, but man, that first goal, if Sorokin's in net, he stops that. I mean, with his athleticism, he stops that.
Well, I'm going to cut you off here a little bit, Grump. You seem so somber. You seem dead. You seem like defeated. But that being said, Grumpy, I'm going to get back to the points. You mentioned, hey, it looked like the second line was soft. It was soft tonight. Charmin soft tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I can't tell you how many times. I love Brock Nelson. I am a Brock Nelson honk. I love Brock Nelson. I'm ready to see him finish a freaking check, though. When I looked at the game, we started off a pretty good start of tonight's game. We kind of fell asleep there a little bit through the majority of the first period, and we came back hard for like the last 4 minutes. And hey, we're throwing checks. We're being physical. In order to win, we have to be physical. We have to force Tampa to be afraid that hits and checks are coming on a consistent basis where they turn over the puck in their own zone. Look what Tampa did throughout the majority of the game. They played that collapsing style of defense, loaded everybody in front of the net, and they had more block shots, believe it or not, than the New York Islanders tonight. They blocked more shots than the Islanders blocked tonight. Hard to believe. That's what happens, right? When they have all the time to set up, they just collapse in front of the net. Hey, good luck getting the puck through on us. And, the goal that we did score, it was an ugly goal, ladies and gentlemen, but it counts nonetheless. And that was an absolute effort goal by a fourth line, an absolute effort goal.
Yeah, but it helped that Jarnac, throws the puck at the goalie with 2-3 guys in front. I mean, it was an idiotic play. All he needs to do is dump it in the corner there.
Yeah. So what you're talking about here, just to show the replay here, guys.
Yeah, it's like, why are you throwing it at your goalie? You got there's 5 guys within 2 foot of the goalie. You throw the puck back at him. Kind of.
He could throw it along the boards, give himself and give his team a chance there to recoup, but instead tries to throw it right here to Vasilevsky, who's not ready. Kind of careens around a little bit here. Oops. Oh, come on. Kind of careens around a little bit here. And, hey, great effort by Cal Clutterbuck, not giving up on a goal. I mean, think about it. He's over there fighting in that scrum, and he wins it. It's a dirty goal, but it's a hell of an effort goal. It's exactly what I expect from that fourth line.
Yeah.
Absolute effort, and they score a goal like that. Again, albeit a mistake there by Jarnac, but hell of a job by the fourth line.
Without a doubt. But, we talked about the keys to the series and the keys to beating Tampa. We talk about it every game. What's the one thing the Islanders need to do? They need to be more physical. They need to finish their checks. They need to hit their defense. They need to let them know you're there, as Paul Newman said in Slapshot. That's what we need to do. We have to hit everything that moves. And we didn't today. Why I was upset the last game is that the Islanders let Tampa, they don't play that style. Tampa does not want to play the style, but they let Tampa dictate the physical play in game 2. That's what frustrated me, because that is the game plan that the Islanders have to implement to beat Tampa, and they let themselves get bullied in game 2. This game, you're right, Nelson, Bailey, they just won't. They never finish their checks. They never even imagine checking somebody. It's like they're playing no contact hockey out there. There are some guys that finish checks. The fourth line is going to finish their checks. You see Barzal finishing checks. Even Eberle is finishing checks. Pajot, Palmieri, even Zajac. But man, oh man, Nelson and Bailey, they just don't do it. I forget. Because we've had so much success the last few years, you just forget how soft they are as players. But man, it was on full display today. It really was.
And again, it's tough and it's hard. You say, hey, tonight wasn't as bad, of a watch. I kind of disagree with you a little bit. It's tough when you see your bottom 2 lines produce as well as the Islanders did tonight. And again, our third line in Jean-Gabriel Pageau has been so important to the Islanders' success. And we saw it again tonight. That third line was excellent. Palmieri, I think, as you mentioned, had an outstanding game. I want to ask you, Grump, after games like that and performances you saw like that, do you upgrade the trade, the trade acquisition there by Palmieri at the trade deadline, Grump?
Nope.
God almighty, still sticking with his guns. That being said, it's tough to hold on, Grump. It's tough when your bottom six forwards produce the ways our bottom 6 forwards did today, and we had such a lack of performance and such a lack of production by our top 6.
Okay, but you're saying performed well. Were we really a threat to score today?
Yes.
I'd say no. I say no.
I can point to certain areas, right? When Palmieri had that point blank chance where he could have put it in, Vasilevsky came up with a huge save. That was a big opportunity there for the Islanders. Barzal, who just goes ahead and puts it across the crease, just misses that opportunity. We had a few good chances. I don't think we had as many chances as we did in game 2 or game 1. That being said, thought we had less overall chances.
That's what I'm saying. We didn't generate many chances. I mean, regardless of the offensive zone time of the fourth line and even the third line, Tampa Bay's defense just shut us down. They packed it in down low, and they're like, go ahead. I see what you can do. I mean, they played us a road game, a really solid road game. And like we did in game 1, that's how they played today. And the game had, for me, no excitement at all. It was a slog, and that's what Tampa wanted to do. And we just weren't the whole thing is, for us to beat Tampa, we need to hit them all the time. And that's 2 games in a row now where we've not been using our physicality on Tampa. If you don't wear them down over the series, you have no shot of beating them. I mean, and that's what I'm afraid we're kind of almost past that point now. Don't you think?
Stop, Grumpy. Okay. I'll tell you this much. I think you're a little too much doom and gloom right now. The series isn't over. the series is not over, right? The series isn't over. That being said, tonight was a disheartening loss, and that was a game where I think the Islanders, Tampa played a different style than what we usually see. They usually score through transition on us. They're able to cycle down low, and that's how they scored on us today. Besides that, right a second after the power play goal. But can we take a break to talk about that absolute soft penalty and that soft penalty that was called on Adam Pelech? It was awful, absolutely horrific.
Yeah. Did you want to show it or?
Oh no, I'm pulling up, Grumpy. But it was a soft penalty, Grump. There's no doubt about it.
The problem, and as you know, I don't complain about the referees. I really don't. But as you see here, man, oh man, I can't tell you. That's just a hockey play. He's nowhere near the puck. Why are they calling interference there in the last 2 minutes of the period, no less? I mean, because the Islanders just scored. I mean, I'm baffled by it. And it's one of those judgment calls, right? Well, here's the thing. If you could look at any single play during the whole game, Tampa did the same thing to us 100 times. We did the same thing to them 100 times. And when referees do that, all as a player, all you can expect is that the referees are consistent. That's it. When you're letting everything go all game and then you call something like that, it's a weak call. It's just really weak. And it wound up costing us the game.
Here's the thing, too. This is the third penalty in 3 games that Kucherov has sold. I tell you one thing. If he's a salesman, he's a salesman. I want him on my sales team. That is awful, right? Game 1, he goes ahead and throws his arms up like he's been cross-checked in the mouth when he gets hit in the chest. Oh, I've been hit in the face. I've been maimed, right? Absolute sell job on that Brock Nelson cross-check in Game 1. Game 2, he goes ahead and starts, I got hit in the back of the head by a sledgehammer. When he gets hit in the shoulder there by Adam Pelech. And this right here, away from the puck, right? I got grazed against. I'm going to throw my arms out to the side and act like I've been murdered and killed. And that right there is called interference. That is one of the worst Charmin soft type of calls I've ever seen. That is hideous. This is playoff hockey, ladies and gentlemen, right? I can pull a plethora of missed interference calls all night long. And I'll tell you one thing. I've got an issue with Patrick Sharp, a freaking issue. They go to intermission, right? Mike Babcock says that's a bad call. For certain it was. Nobody with any hockey sense would say in the playoffs, in Game 3 of the semis, this is a good call. Nobody at all. Patrick Sharp said this. I just want you to listen to this, Grump. And maybe some of you Islander fans caught it. Maybe some of you didn't. He said, the Islanders just got a penalty. I figured that the Tampa Bay Lightning were going to get one back, but I thought it was going to be in the third period. Now things are tied up in that regard. Are you freaking kidding me? What the hell is this, right? The Islanders get a penalty, which was clearly a penalty. But, hey, we got to make sure it's tied up in that regard. We got to make sure penalties are all even, right? Got to make sure if the Islanders get a penalty, the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to get a penalty back. So we're going to go ahead and force one that's not a penalty there. That's freaking awful. That's awful. Patrick Sharp, shame on you, my friend. Shame on you. That's awful. That is awful. Oh.
Now, I'm surprised that Patrick Sharp said that. Didn't a referee get fired this year for saying that he had to even up calls in a period in a game? He got caught on a hot mic.
Now it's all tied in that regard.
Right, but he's saying, he figured, well, the Islanders got a penalty, so Tampa's going to have to get one. Isn't that the same thing that the ref got caught on the hot mic saying early in the year and he got fired immediately? Isn't that what happened to him earlier in the year? The answer is yes. I don't remember the referee's name, but that's what happened, right? So you mean to say NHL that this actually goes on, and that's the perception of the players who actually played the game before? So these things happen. So you mean when the referee said this, he wasn't a rogue referee doing this? I mean, that's why it's laughable. And the NHL and any sports league, honestly, is laughable because if you have 2 eyes, you're able to see what goes on in these games. If one team has a whole bunch of penalties, the referee is going to even it out somehow. They talk about it on every telecast, right? But the leagues try to say, no, it doesn't happen. They're just full of crap, honestly, because that's what happens. The problem I have with this particular penalty is that they did the same thing to the Islanders, and I consider them weak, and I wouldn't have wanted the other ones called on Tampa doing it to the Islanders. But the fact that they showed that and called this one and let the other ones go. That's the type of stuff that drives me crazy, honestly.
And we're talking about the other ones go. We're going to go ahead and populate that because, hey, TJ, hey, grumpy old man, are you guys just going ahead and using a straw man? Are you guys just making up saying that, hey, there was a phantom, interference later on? Are you guys just making something up? What's going on, guys? I trust the referees. We never complained about the referees. We had the last two podcasts. Again, one for the 6 men on the ice, which was quite blatant. And then this one right here. We never complained about the referees for a reason, because it's tough out there. I don't care. But right, here we go. Let's take a look, see here at this, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, this is 19 minutes and 56 seconds here to start a third period. We have people watching. And hold on. Wait a second, Grumpy. That's Grump. What's going on there? The puck's there, but it looks like both the defensemen there and the forward look like they're colliding to try to impede Cizikas' ability to get to the puck. And it looks like what? Hold on.
Maybe the referees couldn't distinguish between which guy to call the penalty on, so they figured 2 wrongs make a right. Maybe that was their thought process.
Oh man, wow. And here the thing is, this isn't a penalty either, ladies and gentlemen. This happens all the time throughout the game. This isn't a penalty. The first call on Pelech wasn't a penalty either. That's the issue I have.
It's weak. It was really weak. And it gave them a goal right at the end, which was borderline goalie interference. And I was stunned that Trotz didn't challenge that. I was stunned. We were never going to score another goal. That was obvious. And to me, you have to challenge that there. If they go on another power play, what's the difference? You're down 1 goal, 2 goal. We weren't scoring tonight. We weren't close to threatening. Matt Barzal, he's skating by himself out there on his line. He gets a pass as far as I'm concerned. Like I said, Komarov was a nightmare offensively. That's on the coach, honestly. I don't blame him. I blame the coach for putting him in that situation because he's asking him to do something he's not capable of doing, which is being a first-line winger. And, even during the game, he played a little bit Villiers over there. He played a little bit Zajac over there, played a little bit Palmieri over there. But at this point in the series, do you not feel that you need to double shift Matt Barzal? Every other shift, get him out there? Because he's the only shot we have, honestly.
Here, okay, really quickly. When you have your top 2 lines struggling the way they are, man, mix something up with those 2 lines. You needed to score a goal. We need to get more offensive pressure. And again, the second line did a little bit better at the tail end of the third period. But I'm sorry, your third and fourth lines were outstanding tonight. I cannot give enough credit to the third and fourth lines tonight. I give them a million bits of credit, but it wouldn't be enough. That's how well they played. As much as we talked about, hey, Matt Martin looked a little gassed there last game. I thought he had an excellent game tonight. He threw the body. He was really being a physical, imposing force out there. Exactly what we need Matt Martin to do. Excellent tonight by him. And I thought the third line was excellent as a unit too. Jean-Gabriel Pageau, cannot speak highly enough about him this playoffs. And our first 2 lines just didn't have it. Again, Matt Barzal showed moments, but as a whole, the first line wasn't really productive, and the second line wasn't either. When do you get to a point in the game where, say, we're down 2-1, we need to start generating some offense? Let's start mixing things up out there. Let's go ahead and throw Palmieri out there on the first line. Let's go ahead and, again, maybe throw Palmieri out there for a shift or 2 more, because I thought he was excellent. Why not? You know what, Leo Komarov, I want to see a little more fight out of you. We're going to go ahead and bench you a shift. You know what? Hey, we're going to mix up lines. You need to do something. 2-1.
Bailey was invisible today. Nelson was invisible. Invisible. Totally invisible. And Komarov was a disaster. Like I said, to me, you're going to have to double shift Matt Barzal. You're going to have to put Oliver Wahlstrom back in the lineup and put him on the first line. At this point, you got to be able to score. We can't score. Unless we get some type of lucky goal, we're not going to score. We're going to get shut out. We're not good enough offensively to match up with Tampa. We're just not.
And I want to bring up another point here for you too, Grump. You talked earlier about what were the keys to winning this series. There were 3 of them. One of them we did well today. You've got to hit, you've got to rush and pressure Sergachev and get him off his game, right? Sergachev takes that stupid, I won't say it's uncharacteristic because it is in his characteristic and MO, but a stupid penalty there, mixing it up and putting that extra oomph to tackle Kyle Palmieri. Again, we've talked about it. Anytime you're tackling a guy who's substantially smaller than you well after the whistle, and you're a guy of 6'4" stature, you're going to get called for that, ladies and gentlemen. That's just what's going to happen. And we take him off his game. He takes a stupid penalty and, gets the Islanders on a power play. So we did that. Other item, got to stay out of the box. I know we didn't stay out of the box tonight, but that was a horrible, horrible call. And Grumpy, what was the third point that you continually mentioned? We have to dump and chase. We cannot continue to try to bring the puck over the blue line. I thought we did an okay job of that at times, dumping and chasing.
Not at the end. Not when we emptied the net with 2.5 minutes to go. Everything, we couldn't even get into their zone. Okay, because we did the little dipsy-do, try to just go over the line and drive it. Barzell did it a couple times, but you got to dump and chase and hit their defense. I mean, the recipe for success in this series is so simple, and I just don't understand why Trotz isn't implementing it. I really don't. Here's the thing. When I say the recipe for success, our only chance for success is doing it that way.
I won't say it's simple. This is the best team in the league. It's the most talented team in the league, right? Here it is. Talked about it. 3 to 5 Hall of Fame caliber players on this team. I won't say the recipe for success is easy. We have to do everything to the best of our abilities. We have to execute those main points flawlessly. We have to play a perfect Islander-style game, and we have to be able to make, Tampa pay for the mistakes they make.
Yeah, you're misunderstanding my point. My point is it's a simple game plan. Dump, chase, hit their defense. It's not like we need to be fancy. Hey, let's run the cycle. Let's do all. It's nothing like that. We have to play a real simple game, which is dump it, hit their defense, punish their defense, cause turnovers, get guys to the front of the net. We had the power play, and it's like one guy's kind of near the goalie, but then you have a guy, 10 foot up in the slot. We need to get 2 guys right in front of Vasilevsky. 2 guys right in the crease. Collapse that in front of them. It gives our guys a chance. And again, in the last 2 minutes, who's out there at the top? 2 guys at the point. Bailey and Leddy. That's not a successful formula. I don't understand why he continues to do that.
I also want to talk about the first goal. You said, hey, Sorokin would have saved that. And the reason you're saying that is because Sorokin, you talk about lateral movement. That is his MO. That is the thing that he excels at better than anything else. I'm not blaming I'm not blaming Varlamov on this goal. You know who I'm blaming, though, ladies and gentlemen? I'm blaming a defenseman, a veteran. Again, hits off his skate. You really can't do much about it. But here's the thing, right? Leddy turns his shoulder, has no idea the defenseman crashing down, completely goes unmarked in that zone. He's staring at the play in the back. I mean, he's not very well aware. And again, it's an unfortunate bounce. Like, there's not much you're going to be able to do about this bounce. But ladies and gentlemen, wow. When luck doesn't go your way and you get unfortunate bounces like this, there's not much you can do.
Leddy looked lost today on the defensive end. I mean, just lost. I mean, it was like he was just standing there.
And not necessarily this play alone, because again, it's an unfortunate bounce. That being said, though, I mean, he did look lost at times. He did turn over the puck. People are saying, hey, Dotson's turning over the puck left and right. Yeah, he is. But you know who I'm most surprised about? The continual turnovers and inability to clear the defensive zone is Nick freaking Leddy. I'm sorry. As a rookie, as essentially a rookie or a young player, you're going to get a little more leash with me regarding turnovers like that. Nick Leddy, I'm sorry. You can't be doing stuff like that. And not necessarily this right here that we got popped up on the screen, but I mean, the turnovers Nick Leddy had today were yikes bad too.
Okay. People want to rip Noah Dobson. You want to know who you have to blame for that? Barry frickin' Trotz. Because during the regular season, if you put him out there in tough minutes, he learns. Okay. Stop sheltering him. Okay. You want to know how you learn? By doing. Okay, that's the one thing that that Barry Trotz won't do. He refuses to rely on the younger players, just refuses. So when they're in situations like this, it's the first time they're really seeing it at this level, and that's what's happening here with the younger players. I mean, he just relies on the veterans, regardless if they can do it or not. Nick Leddy was a disaster tonight. You can blame Noah Dobson on that goal. Nick Leddy was lost on that play, just lost. I mean. But here's the thing. if you want Noah Dobson to get better in those situations, put him out there in those situations. Yeah, you might lose a game or two in regulation during the regular season, but you know what's going to happen? Come playoff time, he's ready to go. And that's the thing I don't believe in giving. I don't believe in sheltering guys minutes.
The biggest issue I have with Noah Dobson, and again, I give him a little bit of a longer leash because he's younger, is he does not use his body enough. Noah Dobson, again, is another guy who's got excellent size and excellent stature. It's the same issue, one of the few issues I have with Brock Nelson. You're so big. I need you to use your body more. God has gifted you with a great frame. God has gifted you with the ability to skate like lightning, like Noah Dobson has. I now need you to have the damn testicular fortitude. I need you to have the aggression and the anger out there on the ice that some other players play out there. I need you to show the same exact aggression when you're going ahead and throwing the body. I don't need you to kind of throw it. I need you to, when you throw a body check, to it look like all 6'3" you is throwing that body check. That is what I need to see more out of Noah Dobson. Again, he's young, so I give him a little bit of a longer leash, but that's really the only issue I have with him. He turns over the puck sometimes, sure, all defensemen do, but I need him to have a bigger leash. And can you believe this too, Grumpy? There were people online after that post we made about the Charmin soft penalty call by Adam Pelech, who were saying, oh, well, Pelech has to know better. You know, he can't go ahead and give himself any opportunity to be called a penalty against. I could not believe people that were defending the referee's call of this.
They must never watch hockey because, I mean, you see that on every single time a puck is dumped in, every single play in every single game, and for every team in the NHL, it happens all the time. All the time. Every single time a puck is dumped deep, you see a guy rub a guy a little bit as he's coming in. Every single one. I mean, those are just, once again, a stupid comment. It's just a dumb comment because obviously you haven't watched the game in the last 10 years or in the last 5 years when they've implemented this ridiculous rule, that type of interference rule, which I think is silly. But here's the thing. It does sometimes get called, sometimes it doesn't. Early in the season, they call it a lot. Then towards the end of the year, they don't call it at all. And then today, they call it when they let everything else go during the game. It just, like I said, those are the frustrating things when officials are not consistent. That's the only thing that a player can ask for, is that officials are consistent throughout a game.
Biggest loser tonight, though, for me is Patrick Sharp. I usually listen and I respect a lot of what he says. Usually his takes are spot on for the most part. That comment by him, though, earlier today left me scratching my head and left me cussing at the TV because I could not believe Patrick Sharp came out there and said it. And then he took a stab there at Mike Babcock. Hey, playful banter. I don't know that. But he said, oh, you know, your Detroit teams used to do that a lot. Yeah, maybe because you're a princess out there on the ice and didn't like getting interfered with a little bit. But that's what every single defender does to every single forward that sets foot on the ice, especially in the playoffs.
See, I like Babcock because he's got that. He reminds me of, who played Michael Myers when in the movie Mystery Alaska. Just the way he talks, he kind of sounds like that. And he said, you know, because Sharp was pissed off at that penalty call during the game. And then, of course, he's so weak and so vanilla that when it comes to putting an actual opinion out there on the ice, he won't voice it. And he's like, you were getting upset like that when it was during the game. Well, and then he said, yeah, your team used to do that in Detroit all the time. He says, you know what? You've been in this TV booth too long. You got too much makeup on. You forget what it's out like there on the ice. I thought it was a perfect return slam by Babcock.
Yeah, it was. It was. And I loved it, man. Babcock, and the thing is, like, Babcock gets a lot of hate. Good. I'm glad he stuck up. Babcock's not afraid to stand up for what he believes in, ladies and gentlemen. Might be really old school, some of the tactics he had there while coaching. I know he gets poo-pooed there with Toronto. But, you know, the more and more I look at the colossal cluster that is in Toronto, I have, you know what? Maybe he was just trying anything he could to get the team to head in the right direction.
Well, also, you know, you mentioned about Dobson. He needs to be more physical. He's a finesse defenseman. That's what he is. And there's sometimes when he throws the body, but mostly he does not. He's really good with his stick, but down low like that, he does need to be more physical. But, hey, the NHL wants to take the physicality out of the game, right? They don't want a lot of physicality down low. They don't want interference. But to me, he needs to have more of that in his game. I agree.
I'm sorry. I don't care if he's a finesse defenseman at 6'3", 6'4", whatever he is. You have to use your body more. You skate well. It's the same thing like Letty, right? Finesse style defenseman. What Dobson has about, a few extra pounds on Letty, maybe 10, 15 pounds on Letty, 2 extra inches of size. I'm sorry. At 6'4", you can't be a finesse defenseman. I'm sorry. That has to be coached where you're more aggressive.
Yeah, but to me, he still doesn't have his man strength yet. He's still a boy. I mean, there's a difference. He's still a boy yet. You can tell that he gets out muscled in spots. And I think he's gotten bigger, but he's still not big enough yet. He needs to hit the weight room in the offseason. To me, that's a key for him. That should be at the exit interviews. They need to sit him down and say, you need to get stronger in front of your net. That's the one negative I have about him, is he's not strong enough defensively in front of his own net.
And I will say, I totally forget to mention this all the time. Remember, guys, if you like the podcast, you enjoy what you're seeing out there, make sure you subscribe on YouTube. You like and follow there on Facebook and Twitter, or you subscribe to wherever you're listening to the podcast. Again, we are going to be covering every single Islanders post game for the rest of the Stanley Cup playoffs. As long as they're around in the playoffs, we will be going live after every single Islanders game.
I'm going to put something up so I can remind you, because, when you're saying this, like, here's the thing. I watch YouTube things, some things every once in a while, and everybody says right at the top, they say, hey, if you like us, do this, do that, the other thing. TJ waits till we're 40 freaking minutes in before he even mentions our podcast.
Hey, 40 minutes in, that's where the diehards are, Grumpy. That's where the real fans of the Islanders Never Say Die podcast live and breathe, my friend.
But they've already done that. They've already done the things they're supposed to. They're the smarter fans that hang around the whole time. It's the newer fans you have to get in, not the old timers. They know, they're smart. I mean, we're trying to educate everyone to bring them over to this podcast. And you're failing again because you're not saying that right off the top of the show.
Oh, goodness gracious, Grumpy. Another thing, we're going to get to comments here in a second, but I don't know about you, but I was pacing an awful lot towards the end of that game. I really was. I was pacing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth all the time.
No, not me. Like I said, this game I was over early. When they scored the first goal, I'm like, we're done. I mean, then we managed to tie it up, and it's like, okay, maybe we have a shot. But then when they scored at the end of the second, I'm like, we're not coming back. Tampa Bay controlled the game pretty much 90%. They controlled the action.
We tie up the game, and then minutes and moments later, right, they get that phantom penalty call, and they go ahead and they take the lead again. So any type of momentum we had was derailed. Again, I thought we had a good third period, an aggressive third period. We put more shots on net. That's something also we need to do more of. We need to shoot the puck more towards the net. We need to shoot the puck more off target where you can go ahead and get those redirections. We need to do something because Tampa is just lining and collapsing everybody they have in front of the net. And when you don't go ahead and when you don't have an excellent transition game, the Islanders don't have an excellent transition game. They score more once they have a chance to set up in the offensive zone. When Tampa collapses everybody in front of the net, it's tough to get shots on net, which is the reason why Tampa had more blocks than us. So you have to do something a little more creative, whether it's having a guy crash towards the net and throwing the puck towards his stick. Tampa had a few opportunities and chances like that today. You've got to do something to change things up here a little bit. But Grump, we're going to start diving into comments. We're going to start off there. Adrian saying, hey, TJ and the grumpy old man.
Yo, Adrian, we didn't do it again. But we love you, Adrian.
That's true. We didn't do it again there. Nick D there saying, with a YouTube comment saying Barzal can't do it all.
It's the truth. He's like out there by himself. I mean, how many times you see him going into the zone, 2-3 guys around him, no other Islander in sight. It's like, come on. Somebody pretend like you want to be offensive. And I don't mean like in not putting on deodorant way. I'm talking about trying to score.
Yeah, absolutely.
Frustrating.
Yeah, Grumpy. And Mike L, they're saying lead feet, talking about Letty, and Dobson was unreliable. Bavillier was invisible. Croc Nelson was sleeping. Bailey just being Bailey. Quite honestly, the fourth line was our best line tonight. They certainly were. Third line was great too, but the fourth line, holy crap. I loved the enthusiasm I had out there. It reminded me of the fourth line of past, the best fourth line in hockey, fourth line we saw tonight.
Stop living in the past. That's 5 years ago. I mean, I thought they brought it tonight, but did you seriously? Did you really think we were going to win this game? How it was being played? I mean, I thought Tampa was in total control, like we were for the majority of the first game. We were in total control of that game, except for the last 3 minutes. And this one was the same way just for Tampa. And Dobson, he just needs to be stronger down low. That's the one thing he needs to work on. Lead feet, good name, because he was terrible. He was terrible today. Nelson was a disaster, and as he's been most of the playoffs. I know he scored some goals, but his play has been down. And Bailey, man, he just sucks. I'm sorry. And he's just so soft.
Toby O'Connor also saying Dobson is a turnover machine.
Okay, but what are they doing to Dobson? 2 guys going after him all the time. They're targeting him. What do you know? What do I say you should do with Sergachev? Target him. Turns the puck over. They take the least experienced guy, and they're going to make sure they hit him and put 2 guys at him all the time. That's what they do. They're targeting him to turn the puck over. That's what we should be doing with Sergachev. They're doing our game plan to us, and we're not implementing it, or what I feel our game plan should be, against Sergachev.
We did implement it. We did start doing it towards the end, but I mean, for the most part, it was like the first period and a half, it wasn't the case. We weren't throwing the body. And then it's like, hey, our fourth line woke up and they started playing like a madman, like their hair was on fire. I will also ask you this, Grumpy. How important is this game for? Must win for the Islanders, right?
Absolutely. We lose another game, we're done. We're going to lose in 5. But here's the thing, right?
If we lose another game, you mean if we lose another home game, right?
Yeah. If we lose game 4, we're losing. We're getting beaten game 5. Here's the thing, right? You mentioned how we started doing it at the end of the third period of this game.
End of the second period, Grumpy, not third.
Okay, but the whole thing is, you have to carry out that plan the whole series, every single period. The whole key is to wear out their defense, wear out Sergachev, try to wear out Hedman, but Sergachev is the guy you want to target, right? He's their puck-moving defenseman back there. Hit him. And by the end of the series, he's skittish, he's worn out, he's turning the puck over. You just can't pick and choose, okay, well, we'll do it for a 5-minute stretch at the end of a period. It doesn't work that way. You're seeing it pay dividends for them on Noah Dobson. Every time he gets it, they're running him. They're taking shots at him. That's the way you do it. You do it all the time. You just don't pick and choose when to do it. The modus operandi for us is, once again, hit Sergachev all the time, every time he touches the puck. He's a hothead. He turns the puck over. He's prone to making mistakes. But if you're only going to hit him every once in a while, it's not going to pay benefits over the course of the series. You should be looking long game, not 5-minute stretches.
And here's the thing, too, right? Noah Dobson, and you got to hit the guys who are inexperienced. Noah Dobson, inexperienced. He's not used to getting run like that in playoff style hockey, right? You're Adam Pelech, you're Ryan Pulak's, much more cool-headed, much more used to this type of playoff style hockey, where every single time you touch the puck, you better expect to get hit. They get hit a little more than Noah Dobson because they say, I know what needs to be done. I know what needs to be done to clear the puck. I know what needs to be done, to headman this puck. I'm going to get hit. They go in with that expectation. Noah Dobson kind of gets a little skittish back there. He does. No. And that's one of the things. Inexperience gives you a little bit of that angst and antsiness.
I don't think he gets skittish. He always feels that he can stick handle and maneuver out of situations. And most of the times he can. But now he's taking a lot of punishment, and then they're sending 2 guys at him sometimes. And what it's causing is, when he's usually used to stick handle away from one, there's another guy there. And that's what's causing him problems.
Absolutely. Rusty Spooner there chiming in with a YouTube comment saying, BS refs, calls, media bias, lame. I want Butchie calling the home games. Pissed. Love you, Grump and TJ.
Love you too, Rusty. The media, here's the thing. The NHL wants Tampa and Vegas. I'm just telling you right now. Those are the 2 teams they want in the finals. They absolutely don't want the Islanders in the finals.
Mm.
And I don't think they want Montreal either. They could sell Montreal as, an original 6 team, whatever. But they want Tampa and Vegas, which would be a good series.
They want Vegas to have a chance there to win a cup, and they've got some unfinished business too, right? Hey, they've been extremely successful. They've been to the Stanley Cup Finals there under Gallant. They've had chances before. They've been an outstanding team over the last little bit. Hey, Vegas is popping. The sports are the fans around them are huge. Vegas Golden Knight fans. So I could definitely see them pulling for them hardcore. They got, I guess, more of the big name players, than Montreal does. That being said, there, Eli chiming in there saying 2-1 down. We're right where we want them. We win game 4 and 5. Game 4, game 5 is a toss up, and then 6 and 7, and it's going to be a grind. The better team will win eventually.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, we're losing to Tampa because they are the better team. I think we had to play a very specific game to beat them, and right now we're not doing that. And to me, that's the frustrating part. It's our game plan against them is so simple, and what I mean is the strategy is so simple. We're just not implementing it, and that's frustrating. But at least we weren't bullied by them because Tampa's not a bully team. It drove me crazy Tuesday night when we got bullied by Tampa. That sent me over the edge, honestly. But today, they didn't bully us. They just outplayed us. And there's no harm getting beat by a better team, honestly. But I would just wish that we would have a better game plan, dumping the puck, running their defense. Just play the dump and chase game against them and wear out their D. That's really the only shot you have.
When you played the dump and chase game, the reason why we're huge dump and chase game, I know some fans might be like, shut the hell up about this dump and chase nonsense. That I'm sure there are people out there thinking that. The reason we are huge proponents behind dump and chase is because as you continually throw your body at the defenseman, I don't care if it's Victor Hedman, throw a check every single time. I don't care if the guy's larger than you, he's bigger than you, better base. I don't care. Throw the check, because what's going to happen is eventually after you hit, they're going to throw the puck and make an ill-advised mistake because they just don't want to take the hit that time. Like, gosh, shit, I got to rush here. Let me go ahead and I thought I saw, Stamkos is along the boards. Let me just go ahead and throw that. They turn the puck over, and that's when you're able to force a mistake. And when they make those mistakes, the Islanders have to capitalize. Just like when Cirelli threw the puck back in front of Vasilevsky, the Islanders were able to capitalize on it because they never quit. The enthusiasm is always there. The never quit attitude is always there. It's the reason why the podcast is named the Islanders Never Say Die podcast. That's what they have to do. That's where we're big proponents behind dump and chase. Also, a comment there from Ariel saying Beauvillier is just not scoring. He's a defensive liability too much as of late.
I'm not going to say that. Beauvillier is the only guy on that line who consistently hustles. That's what, like I said, when you see Bailey hustling and Nelson hustling, it's an aberration. He's the guy who drives that line. I've said that all year long. As Beauvillier goes, that line goes. When he's skating hard and driving the net and being a pest, that's when they're at their best, because Nelson and Bailey are just not capable of that. When you see Josh Bailey going into a corner like he did a couple of games against Boston, it's like alert the media, because that's not something he does. Usually he's just passive and, he's like wallpaper, honestly. And Nelson, same thing.
Hunter H there saying, "Kid Trotz give a handbook on how to take Komarov seriously. I was near tears when he missed that open net. He missed the open net. He was putting shots, right in front of that. He was putting it wide, putting it on top. I'm like, golden opportunities served on a gold platter, platinum platter, whatever you want to use, silver platter, and just whiffing, not even putting the puck on net."
It's not his fault. It's not Leo Komarov's fault. He's not capable of that. It's Barry Trotz's fault for putting him in that situation. Again, trying to jam the square peg into the round hole. He's notorious for it. Instead of putting a guy in his greatest chance to succeed, he just doesn't care. You just have to play the system. That's why there are other coaches, in my opinion, better than him. And I'm not saying he's not a good coach, because he is, but there are other coaches in the league who are better than him because they utilize the talent they have to get the most out of it. And he does not do that. There's no way that Leo Komarov should be on the first line, and he just keeps rolling him out there like he's, whatever. I mean, they're playing a man short all the time on the first line. So I don't want to hear anybody complain about Matt Barzal. The fact that he has all these goals, everything's pretty much individual effort when he's going up against, 2-3 guys all the time because he's got no help. It's a helicopter line, no wings.
The helicopter line with no wings. Nick D said, once we all calm down from this BS loss, let's focus on getting another split. We have to win game 4, and Barry needs to step away from the effing vets. But Barry and the vets. I'll tell you this much, right? Game 4 is a must win, ladies and gentlemen. Game 4 is a must win. You can't go down 3-1 heading back to Tampa, heading back to Amalie Arena. Can't do it.
Okay, I have a question for you. If Oliver Wahlstrom was in the lineup for game 3 and he took 3 minor penalties, do you think he would have been benched for a veteran in game 4?
I thought it was only 2 minor penalties that Zajac took.
It was 3. It was 3. Do you think he would have been benched for game 4? The answer is yes, absolutely. A young guy. But here, Travis Zajac, who's done nothing, really, takes 3 minor penalties. Oliver Wahlstrom is healthy and ready to go. And nope, Barry's happy with this lineup. He's going to roll it out there again. And would it surprise me if he rolls it out there again on Saturday night? Nope, no surprise at all. He doesn't want to play the young players. Here's the thing. Old players have no upside, just none. All you know is you're never going to see one of them step up and get to another level because they're not capable of it because they're all on the downside, okay? Their level of play is here. They're never going to go up to here. If anything, they're going to go down here.
Well,
it's frustrating to me.
I want to bring up another point too, right? We talked about, hey, what helps separate this game tonight? Vasilevsky was outstanding in moments. Absolutely outstanding, right? I don't blame the goal that was scored on Vasilevsky against him. I don't. And, right, they had an amazing chance there for Travis Zajac, too, where Vasilevsky just had enough there on it, was able to go ahead and deflect that one wide. I thought Vasilevsky was excellent tonight. And that won another Vezina, by the way, today. No shock at all. His second, he's been a finalist, top 3 in the Vezina for the last 4 years in a row, won 2 Vezinas. Again, guy stays healthy. You're looking at a guy who's going to be a Hall of Fame caliber goalie. There's no doubt in my mind, Again, we mentioned it. This is a tough team we're facing off against 3 to 5 Hall of Fame caliber players. The Islanders have to execute their game plan to a T, ladies and gentlemen, if they want to win. Eli. Oh, hold on. You also mentioned about Zajac. I have something interesting to mention that I forgot to bring up. It didn't cost us a game. It certainly did not. But Travis Zajac was on the power play. They removed Ryan Pulock there from the second line on the power play and put Travis Zajac out there. I guess I'm baffled why Zajac was running out there on a second power play unit and not Ryan Pulock. And again, Pulock has not been a very, very accurate shot, but hell, Ryan Pulock at least has a howitzer. He scored more playoff goals this year than Zajac has, and just baffled that Travis Zajac was on that second power play unit.
Why are you baffled? He was on the power play unit in New Jersey when Lou was there 10 years ago. That's why. Hey, he used to be able – Wayne Gretzky used to play on the power play too. It doesn't mean I roll him out there now at 55, 56 years old, does it? Not in my book. That's what they do. They're going to live and die with the vets. Well, here's the thing. We're going to die with the vets. And that's why I say all year long, play the young guys. I'd rather take some losses during the regular season. The young guys have a chance to improve. They can make your team better over the long run. The old guys are not going to get any better. That's why this is as far as we go. This is as far as we go. It is. It's as far as we're going. We're not beating Tampa. And you bring up Vasilevsky. He's the best goalie in the world right now. And it's not even close for second. He's easily the best goalie in the world right now. He's not Jari. He's not an injured Rask. He's freaking Andre Vasilevsky, the best goalie in the league. And he's shown it in this series. He's good.
Yeah, that is for certain. He has shown it in this series. Again, best goalie in the world. I don't think you'll see anybody argue that. I think he was unanimously selected there to win the Vezina. Man, oh man. Guy is outstanding out there in net. He makes a few, potential game-altering saves, it seems like every single game. I know he let in that weekie in game one that went right through his body. Very uncharacteristic goal for him to let in. But he has stood on his head. He stood on his head today. Again, tonight's loss was not on Varlamov. It's just our top two lines weren't able to get it going. And if we want any chance to win, we have to have all four lines contributing. That is what makes the team special. All four lines have to contribute. The second line has been really good this year in the playoffs and invisible.
No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. The second line has not been good. They've scored some goals, but they've been atrocious defensively. So much so that the third line gets and the fourth line play against the number one line. That used to be the number two line's spot where they played. They played against the toughest line. That's not been the case this year because they've been absolutely lit up all postseason long.
And you're referring back to the second line not being able to keep up there with the perfection line in Boston, and you're also referring to the lack of defense and a lack of ability to do really much there tonight and against the series against Tampa. I think as a whole, though, if you look at the playoffs as a whole, I think offensively the line has produced. They've had chances. But not been great on the defensive side of the puck. And tonight, yikes, bad. Eli also has got a comment there, said we need more cross ice passes. The few times we did it, we created good scoring chances. Keeping it on the outside with Letty is never going to get us a goal.
Why? Because he's no threat to shoot the puck. Just none. It's like Bailey, no threat to shoot the puck. I mean, you see him with the puck. He's a take a shot where Palmieri would take a shot, Wallstrom would take a shot. Bailey's never taken a shot from some of these spots. He's not. He's so easy to defend because you don't have to defend him. If he just shot the puck a little bit more, he'd score a lot more because no one's expecting it. Absolutely no one. The scouting report is that piece of shit 12 is never going to shoot the puck. Just lay off him. Just cover the passing lanes. We could let him stand from the goalie and he's going to pass out.
Well, here's my question. Do you think they have it worded exactly like that? This piece of shit does not shoot the puck. Just cover the passing lanes. Give him as much space as he wants. Is that what it says on there, that piece of shit? You think so?
You know what they say? They probably said the guy who invented the Bailey assist, there's a reason why he has an assist named after him. That's all I have to say about that. You don't get an assist named after you unless you're always passing the puck.
Oh, goodness. Josh H. there saying, get the momentum back on the goal, and then Pellick with a bad penalty was the difference. See, I don't get the bad penalty portion. Not a bad penalty because it wasn't a penalty.
Well, it wasn't a penalty based on how they called the whole game. That's my issue with it. One other thing about Josh Bailey, I do want to give him a compliment. He's really good to have dinner with at the table because he's always willing to pass you anything, any type of food. He's not going to glom it up for himself. He's always going to be passing around.
Hey, Josh B., I need the breadsticks. Go ahead and pass the breadsticks.
Bailey, he just pass it on over.
Hey, I got some Kool-Aid in the kitchen. Can you go run and get that? Oh, absolutely.
That's right.
Brett Let's Go Islanders there from Net Threads, good clothing company, says, hey, guys, tough loss for sure. Trotz should change up a line or two, preferably Wallstrom for Leo. I mean, Leo will never be subbed out. That's not going to happen. The only person we will see Wallstrom in for is maybe Zajac, if he does anything. The lines are going to stay exactly the same. Doesn't matter how players perform. We're going to continue to roll out there the same exact guys. And again, the people who have used the, hey, don't fix what's not broken excuse, they're going to be seeing a lot of the, oh, we can't make that excuse anymore because we're losing games.
What's the thing they say about what's the definition of futility?
No. What's the definition of insanity? It's continuing to do the same thing over and over again without a different result while expecting
a different result. Yeah. I mean, it's I don't know what to say. I mean, it's so obvious what needs to be done, and he just won't do it. I mean, at some point in time, you have to question if you got the right guy in charge. I mean, if you're not able to adjust to the situation, and he's not. He's never been a guy who adjusts to the situation. That's why he don't win Stanley Cups. I hate to tell you. He gets as far as he can with the level of a team and a certain style that he plays. But when he has to make adjustments, it just doesn't happen because he's not capable of making adjustments.
Now, that statement is going to upset a lot of fans because, well, I know you don't care, but here's the thing, right? Can we acknowledge that Barry Trotz is limited with the amount of talent he has in the organization. This organization is not lush with offensive talent, with real talent at all, right? This is a team, under Capuano had a few 100-point seasons, made the playoffs here and there, never really amounted to anything. And again, the nucleus is pretty much the same, under Capuano, pretty much the same under Doug Weight. And here he is. He's turned, what was bronze into gold in a matter of a season. And, we've seen this success here. And this is our second year in a row in the semifinals.
And that's as far as you're getting. That's as far as we're getting. We're not going any further. I said it when the playoffs started. I thought we'd lose to Pittsburgh because I thought we were crap during the regular season, particularly at the end. Boston, of course, I didn't realize they were playing with an empty net, so that's why I missed that. That's why I missed that one. And then Boston had no idea that you got a goalie who's playing with only one hip. That hurts too. And you come up a team that's healthy and you get dominated. I mean,
no, stop. We're not getting freaking dominated. Stop that BS, Grump.
We were dominated tonight. Tonight.
Hold on a sec. Oh, stop. You have picked the Islanders. We were not dominated tonight. You have picked the Islanders to lose every single series, grumpy old man. You throw enough shit on the wall, eventually something's going to stick.
I picked the Islanders to win every series.
You picked them to win in 11 games, so stop that.
But don't say I picked them to lose. I did pick them to win.
Oh, you're freaking ridiculous. Alexander saying, all in all, it was not a horrible game. I thought they held Tampa in check, and Varlamov had a very good game. That's what I'm about to say. It wasn't a bad game, ladies and gentlemen. The biggest issue was our top two lines just aren't producing. And hell,
you're wrong. The biggest issue is Tampa just controlled the game. They totally controlled the game. Okay, you could say it wasn't a horrible game. Why? Because Tampa wasn't rushing everything down the ice and, putting 40 shots on goal. They just controlled the game right from the drop of the puck. They were in total control of the game. We had a couple little spurts we put a little bit of pressure on, but they were in total control. It was just like game one, with the exception, but the exception of the Islanders played an A+ game in game one, and Tampa played like a C game until the last 3 minutes. And I was afraid we were going to lose that, right? But here, Tampa just played a solid game. We're just going to play defense. We're not going to do anything stupid. They don't feel the Islanders can beat them 5-on-5, and we haven't been able to.
Got a comment here from Tom White saying, Eberle, Barzal, Palmieri should be first line. Second line, Bailey, Nelson, Bavillier. Third line, Wallstrom, Pajot, Zajac. Fourth line, Matt Martin, Casey Cizikas, and Cal Clutterbuck.
I don't want Zajac. Honestly, I'd rather have Palmieri play. If you're going to bring Wallstrom in, you might as well put Palmieri in that spot on the right wing. They seemed to gel earlier in the year. I'm not opposed to, at least Wallstrom was scoring. Of course, Palmieri wasn't. But you can't put Leo Komarov on the first line. You really can't expect much from
Leo Komarov, and his suggestion is not on the first line. He sat Leo Komarov, just replaced Wallstrom there with Leo and keep Zajac in the lineup.
Yeah, but I'm saying you can't put Zajac up there either. I'd put Wallstrom on the first line. That's what I would do. Let Matt Barzal have somebody to pass the puck who will actually shoot it. He's a kid who goes into the corners and he gets in shooting position and he shoots the freaking puck. That's what you need from the guy on your first line. That's what needs to happen.
Let's sprinkle this with a dose of realism here, Grumpy. Wallstrom has been a third line player through the majority and throughout the entirety of this regular season. He's never played extensive minutes. He's never played a boatload of minutes. He's not going to now. You know what?
You call it break glass in case of emergency. It's emergency time, people. Break the glass. Put the kid who's unconscious shooting the puck. He's going to shoot every time. Put him on the first line with a guy who absolutely creates. The only guy on our whole team who creates our offense. Put him on the line with Barzal. That's what needs to happen. Okay? Only that.
Well, we got another comment here from David D there saying, we lack, again, a true goal scorer. Please take Leo off the first line.
There you go, right? Same thing I just said. Who's your most natural goal scorer on the team? It's Oliver Wallstrom. He don't want to play him. Why? Because he's not 50 years old. I mean, I'm sorry. Put the kid on the first line. That's where he's destined to play anyway. Do it now. What do you have to lose? We generate no offense. What do you have to lose? Who cares if you get beat 7-1 or 1-0? Who cares? At least give yourself a chance to change. Change it up to give yourself a shot. That's all I'm saying.
Adam S saying, how long is Barry's contract? Okay, Barry's not the reason why we're losing these games. As we talked about it before, Barry Trotz is the reason we're here at the point. The structure and the system is the reason why we're here. At one point, you just run out. I mean, like, this team is limited. Okay, we're playing against a team in Tampa Bay Lightning that are going to have 3 to 5 Hall of Fame players on this roster. I mean, 3 is underselling it. I think Stamkos is making it. I think Kucherov is making it. I think Vasilevsky and I think Hedman are surefire Hall of Famers. Maybe Point, depending on what he can do regular season-wise. The guy is excellent in the postseason. It depends on what Braden Point can continue to put together. But, I mean, that's the bare minimum 3, if not 5 Hall of Fame caliber players on this team.
I'm going to call you shampoo in a second. That's like the 5th time you've said this about the Hall of Famers on that team.
Wash, rinse, and repeat.
Yeah, you don't need much shampoo on that hair, though.
Oh, shit. First ball joke.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, okay, it's funny. Okay, you admit we don't have a whole lot of – everybody admits we don't have a whole lot of talent. How the hell is Lou Lamoriello up for GM of the Year again? I mean, how is it possible that he's up for GM of the Year? But I have another question for you. Watch out, fans. The New York Rangers are going to be better next year. Gerard Gallant is their coach, and he's really good working with young talent. Watch out. I expect a big jump from the Rangers next year because he's a good coach.
I will also say this. If you guys enjoy the podcast, you enjoy us talking about Islanders, Grumpy Old Man and I also have another podcast where we talk sports in general. We talk all hot takes. And again, it's more fiery, believe it or not, than our Islanders podcast. It's a lot of back and forth between myself and the Grumpy Old Man on items across all different sports. You know, you got the NFL, we've got MLB, we have NBA, we've got hockey, we also have soccer, we've got all takes across all different sports. And again, you can find that podcast and that link in the description below. We'll link that in there so you guys can access it in case you want to watch and listen. We most times do it once a week right now, but in the off season, we'll be ramping up to twice a week when, you know, there's not as much Islanders news to talk about. Mike L there saying the lack of gaining the blue line in the last 3 minutes truly showed Tampa completely shut us down, not even close to having an offensive push. Back to the drawing board.
They're good. They're good. And we're not real good offensively. But our attack it's just the scheme is wrong. The scheme is pass it 3 foot over the line, try to get a return pass, dump and chase. They just stand at the blue line and pick off passes. Dump, make them turn and run them. That's how you have to generate chances against Tampa Bay. Doing it like they're just too good and we're not good enough to make those plays happen. Dump, chase, hit. That's how we have to do it.
Coach Tommy B saying, what a horrific call on Pellick, any way you slice it. Yeah, for certain. It wasn't a good call. Again, we talked about it. Not a good call. Josh H there saying no physical play by the Islanders at all tonight. I will say we did have physical play by the 3rd and 4th line. But other than that, not
really.
Second line.
Not really. A little bit. We weren't running their guys like we needed to. We weren't. That game was played just the way Tampa wanted it to be played. It was like to me, it looked like an exhibition game, honestly. No one wanted to get hurt. No one's really hitting. Nothing really too serious. Not too exciting. I mean,
I'm sorry. I disagree with you big time. There were some big hits laid. Again, there were moments where there were big hits laid. There wasn't consistent pressure throughout the entirety of the game, but there were moments. It wasn't like an exhibition game. Grump, come on, give me a break.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I agree with Josh here. No physical play. They even asked one of the reporters after the game asked Martin, what was he said? He asked if he thought they were physical enough, and he's like, well. I think we were physical enough. Really, Matt?
Here's the thing. Our 4th line was plenty physical. They did what they were supposed to do. And maybe Matt Martin's like every other player on the bench as they're getting, their breath. They're not really paying as much attention to what's going out there on the ice. They're not watching as close there because they're more worried about what they need to do, who their matchup and lineup's going to be out there. So the 4th line did more than enough physically. The other lines are lacking.
They were way more physical in game 1 than they were today. Way more physical. Probably 2 times more physical in game one than they were today. I didn't think they were very physical at all today. But the whole thing was Tampa wasn't physical either. I mean, Tampa doesn't want to play physical. Why did they play physical in game two? Because we bodied them the whole night. So they came out with a little bit of gumption in game two and totally dominated us physically. And that's why I was so pissed, right? Today, Tampa didn't come out physically, and neither did we. And that plays right into Tampa's hands. I'm sorry.
Gotcha, Grump. Ariel C also saying Leo gets spoon-fed by Eberle and misses the net. I just don't get it. I really don't. So frustrating.
Blame Barry. It's all Barry's fault.
Okay. I hate when you say it's all Barry.
He's putting him. No, listen to me. He's putting him in that situation that he knows he's not capable of performing in. That's on Barry Trotz. Period. Leo Komarov is not capable of scoring goals, but he puts him in that spot.
And here's the thing, right? Anybody who's like, oh, Leo maybe shows flashes here or there. Leo Komarov, he makes some nice passes for certain. He does. He's made some nice passes this playoffs on rare occasion. That being said, Leo Komarov is not a guy who's scoring goals. He's got one goal throughout the regular season, I think, with the first line and throughout the playoffs. So, I mean, like, you expect Leo to score goals when he's got those wide open opportunities. He's missed more of those than what he scored. So, not too much of a shot, but it is frustrating beyond all belief. Matthew S., they're saying they don't lose when I'm usually at the game. I'll be at section 222, row 5. They will win. You heard it here first. Crazy thing about it, section 222, anytime 222, I believe it's the number of the angel. Anytime I see that number, it always clicks in my head. I'm able to look at random sequences of numbers. If I see 222, it's, I believe, the number of the angel.
I don't know. I just remember an old TV show called Room 222.
Well, it's funny. Like, hey, 666, the number of the devil. I thought 222 is the number of the angel, but I might be completely wrong on that. Maybe it's just hearsay. Somebody once told me, and I've run with it here. Oh, my God. Frank K saying the Islanders are done on Monday. Vasilevsky is in their heads, afraid to create any real chances. Lee missing is a big deal. Wallstrom needs to play if he can go. Komarov is a horror. Islanders played like they were lighting the loaf. Stop. Grumpy. There's nothing grumpy. I gotta stop it. I hate that stupid meow thing you do. Grump, anytime I wish I could go through the computer screen and go, bam! Right? I hate that.
Instead of saying the word, you just put a little pussycat noise. Wow.
Oh my God, I hate that noise. Anyway, moving right along. I'm pissed at the non-urgency that they had in front of the net in front of a sold-out Coliseum. They need their faces smashed against the locker. They're done. Frank K.
Looks like Frank saw the game just like I did, TJ. That's exactly the way I saw it. We came out with no real emotion. I mean, the crowd was into it from the get-go, and we didn't implement the game plan. The only game plan that we can use to beat Tampa, we haven't implemented it in the last two games. And that's why we lost both of them. There's only one way to beat Tampa with our team and our talent level. We've described it here. If they follow it, they have a shot. If they don't, they're losing. Period.
Coach Tommy B saying this was an old school defensive struggle. Neither team had many good scoring chances tonight. I don't disagree. I thought, again, the opportunities that they scored on there were kind of broken plays there and missed assignments there by, the Islanders at times. And the goal we scored was a complete ugly goal.
Was Tampa trying to press the advantage all night, or are they just happy just playing a defensive game?
Look at the third period. Look at the third period as a perfect example. Once they were up 2-1, they said, we need to play this collapsing style. We're just going to go ahead and chip. If there's an offensive opportunity that presents itself, we'll take it. Otherwise, we need to be focused on making sure the Islanders do not get really any chances. We had a few, but not many at the end.
They played that style the whole game. The whole game they played that style. They weren't attack oriented. They were just saying, you know what, I say it every podcast I talk about Tampa. They remind me of the 80s Dynasty Islanders because they're able to adapt to any other team and beat them at their own style. They beat us tonight using our style. And you know what? When a team is able to do that, hats off. More credit to you. I mean, they're a good team. So
David D. also saying we need to score more than 1 to 2 goals, period. Yeah, again, we've been scoring. We had the most goals. entering the semifinals. We had scored quite a boatload there against, the lack of a goalie there in Pittsburgh. And Yari, absolutely horrific goalie, had a bad series. And against Tuukka Rask, again, didn't know, obviously, he had a torn hip labrum, which I'm sure was impeding his ability to play. Now we're going against the best goalie in the NHL. Us scoring 1 to 2 goals, I think, is kind of what we should expect. Scoring more than that I'd be shocked if we're putting 3 or 4 goals up against Tampa.
This is what it would look like in the regular season, right? 1-2 goals a game. That's what we score. That's, like I said, it's too bad the trade deadline is over, because maybe we could trade Jari to them for Vasilevsky or something.
Oh, now you sound like Eyes on Isles. Maybe we can go ahead and Leo Komarov, and a second-round pick in next year's draft, because it's much more loaded than this year's draft, for Connor McDavid. I think that's a fair trade. Connor McDavid hasn't been a great playoff producer. Leo Komarov, he got the monkey off his back. He's been playing a physical style game, and that's exactly what Edmonton needs. So Leo and a second for Connor McDavid. Moving right along, Grump.
Yep. Okay, first of all, Connor McDavid wouldn't play on this team. He doesn't play enough defense. He'd be sitting on the bench.
Oh, goodness.
For Travis Zajac.
Sal P, they're saying, hey, TJ and Grump, the boys let us down tonight. They should have come out out better with energy from the crowd. The Killer Bees were embarrassing tonight. Tampa's beating us at our own game.
That's right. Didn't I just say that? That's what I said, right? To me, it was so obvious. That's why it was a boring game today. Tampa said, you know what? We're not going to play Tampa style today. We'll just play Islander style, and we'll just beat the hell out of them like that. John Cooper, he knew what he was talking about in game 1. We just played a little stupid today. He wasn't even concerned about us.
Gotcha. Brett, Let's Go Islanders, said the Killer Bees were more like the wannabes, and I like it there. Alexander also saying there, Grumpy upped his grade for TJ on his ad reading ability to a B. Nicer. Brett W saying the second line F- tonight.
That's right, Brett. It's like they might as well call it the Palmieri line. We gave him the Palmieri grade.
Tom White there saying building was electric at the game start. The Islanders were not. Poor start to the first home game of the series.
True. Tampa dominated from the get-go. We had they're good. They're good. Like I said, the only reason I got so upset in game 2 was because we let them bully us. And that, to me, you can't let a team bully you, especially a team like Tampa. That's not their style. But today, they just showed why they're the best team in the league. There's no crime in losing to the best team in the league, honestly. There isn't. There's only one. I'm going to say again, like you keep on saying to all the Hall of Famers, there's only one approach that we can use to beat Tampa Bay. If we don't implement it, we have no shot at beating them.
3-5, Grump. That's all I'm going to say. 3-5. Coach Tommy B saying Barzal played very well. I think that's true. I thought Barzal had a lot of energy. He made a lot of opportunities there. He played well tonight for certain.
He's all by himself out there on the helicopter line. It's tough.
Matthew S. there saying time to take Leo off the top line.
Hey, he's great. First line player. That's what we heard.
And then, Brett W. saying, unfortunately, Barzal still has that jag Leo next to him.
Hey, Eberle's a borderline jag too, the way he's been playing. He showed a little bit of jump, but is he really a first-line winger on any team? No. He's a first-line winger on this team because we don't have any wingers, but he's really on another team. He's not a first-line player. He wouldn't even be a first-line player on the Kraken.
Ariel C there saying Leo being Leo is frustrating, but Eberle actually is capable of scoring and isn't, which is even more frustrating. Yeah, again, the lack of production from Eberle is, it's one of those things we talked about even last podcast. Like, hey, it's one of those items that are going unmentioned because there's other items, I think that are more pressing. But hey, I mean, Jordan Eberle, I'm sorry, you're playing on the first line. You've got the ability to score. We need you to start doing something to produce. We need some type of production out of you, my friend.
I swear, I feel like Karnak the Magnificent, where I'm saying things and then the next comment, it just says what I have, just reiterates what I just said. I like it.
Well, here it is, Grump. I know you don't read the comments, but these are all the comments from earlier on in the podcast.
Oh,
But
I don't know.
yeah, we don't read the comments there until we get through like the podcast portion and we start getting to comments there. But yeah, Grumpy. Eddie, their YouTube comment says, Wally sits and watches the postseason with a hand to the face.
And he's ready to play. He's ready to play. Barry Trotz said he's ready to play, but he doesn't think he's going to. Why? Because we don't want to score goals. And, he's not 50 years old. So he has no shot of playing.
David D, they're saying, why can we not try Palmieri, Barzal, and Wallstrom / Everett? Like, look at the production.
I would have I'm sorry to jump in you, just while I'm thinking. You've been monologuing all night tonight. So and sometimes I'll forget my point. Why not Barzal, Palmieri, and Wallstrom? Why not put a line like that out there? Wallstrom can play the left, Barzal in center, and put Palmieri, who's actually showed some jump in this series, on the right wing. Why not try that? Why not? Give yourself a chance to win.
But because Wallstrom and Palmieri can't win faceoffs, and we have to win every faceoff in order to be competitive. Because if we don't win a faceoff, they're going to win the puck in our zone, and they're going to score every single time. Because if we can't win the faceoffs, then we're ineffective.
You know what? That's a really stupid. I hear that argument, and usually it's from the Islanders Inquirer. It's the stupidest argument ever. Okay, here's the thing: a faceoff is what, like 2% of the game. How about the rest of the shift when Barzal's out there by himself? Just skate around in circles, try to generate something on yourself while you got these two other guys, hanging on to the boards because they're not capable of playing. Just try to play to the next shift. That's why your team doesn't score. They don't even have the opportunity.
You know what it's like? It's like when NFL coaches say, special teams is the most important part of our game. Shut the hell up. No, it's not. Nobody believes in that. And all the other players out there on the ice they say, oh, yeah, special teams are super important, buddy. Yeah, okay. Sure they are. Yeah, special teams are not the most important portion of your game. They never have been, never will be, just like faceoffs aren't the most important portion of your game. There's a lot of other important parts of the game. Again, faceoffs are important. Special teams are important, not the most important. Not where you should go ahead and alter the composition of a line for the ability for one small, minute detail of the game.
That they're not that good at. All right. Komarov, he's 47% on faceoffs. Is that great? No. 13% better than Barzal? So what percentage is that? And just to clarify, special teams in hockey is way more important than special teams in football. I mean, how many football special teams plays are there in a game? Like maybe 10? I mean, out of like 120 or 130, you got 10?
No, there's more with your punts. There's more with your kickoffs. There's more with your field goals. But here's the thing. They're always like, it's just as important as offensive defense. No, it's not.
Okay, kickoffs are not a special team play anymore. Everybody just kicks it through the end zone. They start at 25. So that doesn't even count. It's only punts. Only punts. Occasionally a kickoff, but only punts.
Punts and field goals. Yeah, okay. Anyway, moving right along there, Grump. A lot of comments to get through here. Coach Tommy B, they're saying Beauvillier has missed so many good scoring chances. It is pathetic.
Well, what's the thing about Anthony Beauvillier? When he's hot, he's hot, and when he's not, he's not. That's a song. I didn't sing it right.
When he's hot,
when you're hot, you're hot, and when you're not, you're not. It was a '70s song. I even forgot who sang it.
No.
Jerry Reed, I think. Jerry Reed, who's in Smokey and the Bandit. He was the Snowman. That was a song that he sang. When you're hot, you're hot. And when you're not, you're not. And I still am not singing it right.
Smokey and the Bandit is a hell of a movie. That's an old one there, Grumpy. I like it.
Great movie.
We'll see. They're saying they're outplayed them in the second and third period. Tampa is 6-1 on the road for a reason. I don't see us winning 3 in a row.
No, I don't either.
That's talking if we lose here this next game. They don't see us winning 3 in a row. That is for certain here. Absolutely here. Tom White, they're saying he's starting to show that he can't step it up as games get tougher.
I don't know who he's talking about.
I think he's talking about there maybe Beauvillier. Again, he could be talking about a lot of different. It's funny, right? He could be talking about a lot of different Islanders with this comment. He can't step it up when games and things get tougher. I'll tell you one guy who does step it up, Matty B. I've been impressed. Matt Barzal had a little bit of a slump there towards the beginning, against Pittsburgh maybe a little bit, but hey, he really turned on against Boston. I thought he's been really good against Tampa too.
He's been playing like he only has one skate blade out there. That's what it's like when you don't have any wingers. When you're on the helicopter line, That's what it's like. It's like you're skating with half a stick. It's just we need to get that kid some talent to play with.
US there saying we're missing a Lee, and it's funny he brings that up there, Grump. I know you don't have any social media, but Anders Lee has been out there on the ice as of lately. I'll go ahead and make this larger here for you, Grumpy, so you can go ahead and see this here. And he's saying that Anders Lee is skating and looks like he hasn't skipped a beat. He's skating well. Looks like he hasn't skipped a beat. And here is the comment, Grumpy old man. Yep, Anders Lee is skating with reserves, and he's skating fast. It looks like he didn't miss a beat.
It looks like he was going half speed. Maybe that is fast for him because he can't skate. I'm surprised he didn't fall down. That's fast? That's fast. Okay, thanks. Maybe the definition of fast has changed as far as this fella's talking about.
Do you know which was it? Okay, here's my question. Do you know if it was his left leg that I can't remember which ACL he's tore, whether it was his left or his right. But here's the thing too, right? People are gonna be like, oh, he's skating out there, he's moving fast. Look at this, look at that. I just look at this stop. Whoop. Notice how a lot of that weight's there on his right leg. I doubt that's the leg he just had ACL surgery on. So I'm gonna say he's favoring his left leg a little bit when he's stopping. Just a tiny bit.
Nice to see, and all kidding aside, nice to see Anders Lee back on the ice. It doesn't matter if Anders Lee was playing or not. Anders Lee is not a difference maker.
Hold on. That's where you and I disagree.
He's better than Leo Komarov, but he's not a difference maker. He's not a difference maker. We have one difference maker on the whole team, one guy.
Okay, stop for a second here. We are rolling out Leo Komarov on the first line every freaking shift, every freaking night. Anders Lee is like 3 steps above Leo Komarov for what he brings to that first line. It is no hiding that since Leo Komarov has been on that first line, the first line in 5-on-5 play has been anemic. Right? When Anders Lee is on that first line, at least they have a chance of scoring. Anders Lee has much more offensive talent. He puts those pucks on net. He puts those chances in more often than not compared to where Leo, he's lucky to put one on net if he's handed to it on a silver platter. Anders Lee is 3 steps above Leo Komarov. And you just say, hey, it wouldn't be making a difference. I disagree a lot.
I didn't say that. I said he's better than Leo Komarov. I agree he's 3 steps better than Leo Komarov. I just said he's not a difference maker, and he would not be making a difference in this series. That's all I'm saying. Tampa's just better than Leo.
Right? Think about this, right? Think about the opportunities that Leo Komarov has missed on, right? Anders Lee is not going to be missing on it. You're saying, hey, he's not making a difference. Scoring a goal and not completely
again. You're not listening to what I'm saying. I said he's not a difference maker. I didn't say he could not make a difference because he's better than Leo Komarov, but he's not a difference maker. We have one difference maker on the whole team. One guy.
You just said he's not a difference maker. He would not be making a difference in this series. And I disagree with that.
When I say a difference maker, I mean a guy who makes other people better, who's a creator, a guy who sets himself apart. That's not Anders Lee. He's a garbage man, and he's a good garbage man. That's what he is. He's a good garbage man. He's very good at that.
Jesus Christ. The issue I disagree with is when you say that he would not be making a difference in this series. I disagree, right? Again, if you're not missing those wide open opportunities, that's a different ball game. But neither here nor there. I'm not going to get stuck on this point here. I got a lot of comments to get through here. Coach Tommy B also said a big problem is our D-men don't get through shots from the point, and Dobson never shoots. Dobson throws the puck on net. He needs to probably throw more on net the last few games. He throws the puck on net more than any of the other defensemen, in my opinion. But you're right. You're not getting shots there to the net because Tampa is playing the collapsing style defense and they're blocking other shots from the perimeter.
That's exactly right. They're collapsing 5 guys within the dots, and we just can't. We don't have enough speed and creativity. Matt Barzil's the only guy, because you can break them down before they get set up if you have speed and creativity. He's the only guy who does it. That's why we're easy to defend. We don't have enough talent.
So what you have to do when those shots from the perimeter are not getting through, you have to run and cycle your forwards through to where they take runs at the net. And what you do is you have a defenseman throw a pass there or a shot that's slightly off target, and your forward can go ahead and maybe redirect that towards the net and create an opportunity or chance. You can't just say, hey, we're just going to go ahead and take a slap shot and try to get through 4 different Tampa defensemen.
Yeah, but our guys aren't talented. Our guys can't run a cycle. They're all guys in their 30s. They're ham and egg or hacks. They're all Jags. You're not going to be able to run the Tampa system with that guy. Look at Tampa. You see how we're not able to hem them into their zone? Man, oh, man, they break it. They're so easy breaking out of their zone where everybody else were able to pin in. Not Tampa. Not Tampa.
Frank K also saying Paul Mary was really good. One of the few who was good.
Very true. He's not afraid to shoot the puck.
Alexander saying Nelson is Mr. Softy. And also, I thought the NBC crew was going to have a heart attack talking about the point goal. I was like, oh, my God, will you just shut the hell up?
It was a nice goal, though. But here's the thing. Braden Point, second-round pick, probably never would have been picked by us. Why? Because he only played offense in juniors. That's a guy he's just a natural goal scorer. He's really, really good. Is he great defensively? Nope. But you know what he's really good at? Scoring goals in the playoffs. How do you win games in the playoffs? Oh, that's right. Got to score goals. Who's our best goal scorer in the playoffs? He's sitting on the bench, healthy.
Oh, goodness gracious here, Grump. We got a comment here from Skipper, and this was sent to me via Twitter message here saying, what do you guys think? We should have won that game. Unfortunately, that their goalie was that good. We had some unlucky bounces. Any changes you think in the lineup? What is Barry Trotz thinking? Because I feel Wahlstrom needs to be on the first line and bench Leo, leave Zajac on the third.
There you go. That's what I think we should do. Was that the Skipper from the SS Minnow?
No, not from the SS Minnow there.
Do you know what TV show the Skipper was on in the SS Minnow?
No.
Gilligan's Island.
Okay. I was about to say the Andy Griffith Show just because I was thinking it had to be something old.
I can't believe you didn't know Gilligan's Island. The Skipper, Gilligan, the Professor, Marianne, Ginger, Mr. and Mrs. Howell.
I had to interrupt you. Did they have one of those inanimate objects they talked to, like Wilson, or like who the hell? Tom Hanks talked to Wilson on Castaway. Didn't they have one of those inanimate objects they talked to on that show, or am I thinking just completely out of the ballpark?
Yes. If you don't even know who Gilligan's Island is, I don't even try to describe it. You don't even know what it is. It's scary. Look it up. Gilligan's Island. That's good for a call-in show, just to let you know. TJ's lack of knowledge.
I know. I'm just happy that there's no carte blanche comments in here. Well,
Alicia said it right this time.
It took me about 3 or 4 podcasts. Deidre C saying the Islanders were outplayed in the third. I don't think they were outplayed, but Tampa did a really good job.
We were outplayed. We were done. We had no chances. There were no real threats. And whenever there was, Vasilevsky made a save. We didn't have sustained pressure. We had some offensive zone time. But did you really feel the Islanders were a threat to score? I didn't. Not at all.
I thought we had chances in the third. Again, like I thought Tampa was more. They were not trying to get anything going in the offensive zone. That's quite obvious. But I thought we had chances.
In soccer parlance, they were just parking the bus.
Yeah,
they didn't have to worry.
I don't blame them there. Theodore A there said we played a great game, an absolute got beat at our own game. The Lightning got good bounces and blocked a few shots. Plus, their lockdown defense and also Vasilevsky is disgusting.
That's what happens when you're a team that can adjust to anybody's style. You can play the run and gun, beat anybody at it. Florida, Carolina, Islanders lockdown defense. They play our game better than we play it when they want to. That's why they're good. That's why they're defending Stanley Cup champs.
The Wicked 50 Cal says it seems like we either had 0 or 1 line going at any point there tonight, but we never had more than 1 line click concurrently.
Yeah, well, that's because Tampa's just good. We're not real talented. And when Tampa wants to play that style, they can. And that's why TJ's take on John Cooper is going to be, he'll have to give that up in like a couple of weeks because they'll roll. They're going to roll to another.
Jesus Christ. Here it is. Doom and gloom again, Grumpy. I'm going to say it again here.
Okay.
If John Cooper does not win more than one Stanley Cup with the way that team is constructed, he is an overrated, overhyped coach. Again, 3 to 5 Hall of Famers on that team, bare minimum.
Yeah.
Mark S. They're saying, I don't understand the refs. I just don't. We need to take it. We need to take it to them. The B line also was non-existent tonight.
They've been non-existent a lot this playoff run. And the whole he's right. That's what Mark is 100% correct. We need to take it to them. We just can't lay back and just, absorb pressure. We need to put the pressure on them. It's a real simple game plan. We just haven't implemented it. But the whole thing is, for it really to work, you got to do it every game, all game long from game one. So you wear them out by the end of the series. You've just given up 2 games when you didn't do it. So how effective could it be the rest of the way? Tampa's not beat up at all yet. Not at all. So it's going to be real tough.
William C. They're saying, you really think we would have learned our lesson from last year, right? Well, wrong. It's time to free Wallstrom. Wally would have scored on those shots that Leo missed on. At least he would have put it on net. I'm sorry. You can't miss when you're almost in the crease. You can't miss the freaking net. Come on now.
Well, here's what we didn't learn from last year from our award-winning general manager. The team needed to be made better, and it wasn't. That's what we didn't learn.
He didn't win the award for best GM yet. He's in contention for the best GM.
He won it last year. He won it last year. He won it with the Pajot trade.
That's right.
So, yeah. But the whole thing is he didn't learn from the mistakes of last year that we were not even close to being good enough to beat Tampa. He didn't learn because we didn't improve the team. We traded away Devon Taves, one of our cornerstone young defensemen, and we traded for Kyle Palmieri and Travis Zajac. That's not improving your team. That's weakening your defense. And Leo Komarov started. We just didn't make our team better. That's what we didn't learn. Will we learn this year? Nope.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the doom and gloom section of today's podcast. This entire 7-day week forecast is going to be full of 170 degrees heat and consistent rain, 100% chance of humidity and precipitation. And we've got Grumpy Old Man giving us the weather forecast.
Speaking the truth. Sometimes the truth is a painful thing, fans.
Okay. We improved off of last year.
No,
okay.
we didn't. Absolutely no. You're trying to tell me the talent level on this team now is better than last year? It's the same freaking talent. Same talent.
Okay.
Same exact talent.
We have additions there of Wallstrom, even though he's not playing right now. That was a plus. Dobson has improved. I'll tell you here, I think Barzal, even though the numbers aren't as favorable of years past, I thought he stepped his game up this year. And with a guy like Lee in the lineup, I thought he would have played better as well throughout the regular season and even through postseason. Again, he's on the helicopter line, as you mentioned before, but no point, continue hitting it. John M., they're saying Grump, as bad as the Islanders looked in the first period, they had 14 high-grade chances to 5 against Tampa. No puck luck.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I just saw the game differently than that. I'm sorry. I think Tampa dominated from beginning to end. They played our game better than we played.
John M. also saying there, I'd love to see Wallstrom on the power play in the first line.
100% agree.
And he totally agrees there as well. Theodore also said the Islanders deserved it, but couldn't grab the win.
No. Here's the thing. If we would have tied it up, what happened? They tied it up. We tied it up. And then Tampa goes out and scores, 2 minutes later. Tampa can just turn it on and off anytime they want. They're that good.
And then Frank Hay also said the Islanders' offense is too predictable. And quite honestly, this is a hot take here. Tampa looks bored because they know they can beat the Islanders whenever they want. You think they're playing with this, this confidence, this air of confidence that, as long as we play our game, doesn't matter what the Islanders throw at us. It's going to be an easy victory.
It would be like Alabama football playing a high school team. That's what it's kind of like. They feel.
Stop.
What I'm saying is they're just so much better. They could just turn. Look at what happened against the Florida series, right? It's the same thing. They're just They walk through the regular season. Their best two players didn't play. The one guy didn't play the whole year. The other one doesn't play the last 16 games of the year. And then they come in third and they just walk through everybody in the playoffs. That's how good they are. They're great. They're a really good team.
The Wicked 50 Cal said what's worse about the entire Pelech situation was the commentators were praising that Pelech penalty. Yeah, again, when they do that type of crap, I just think to myself, I'm like, oh, okay. So you just want to cover the asses of the referees, no matter what they did. It could have been a barely tap on the wrist. Oh, well, that's actually good. Now I see the contact. Or it could have been a hit, mildly up high. Oh, well, we got to protect the players. They're going to agree with anything the referees do. There's never going to be a disagreement with what they see out there on the ice.
That fits the narrative. The narrative is Tampa is really good. We want Tampa in the finals, and we want Vegas in the finals. That's what they want. That's what NBC wants the last year that they're going to be carrying the NHL. They don't want the Islanders. Absolutely, they don't want the Islanders. And I don't think they want Montreal either. They can sell Montreal as an original 16 perhaps, but that's it. But for a really entertaining final that Tampa will win, you want Tampa versus Vegas.
Deidre C, they're saying Tampa isn't bored. They're just really good. Again, Grumpy, we got a lot of comments to bust through here. So got to keep them quick. Alexander saying, and the NBC crew owe that penalty a horrible penalty and a bad take on their part for certain. Coach Tommy B said, somebody needs to plant Kucherov for his flopping.
That's right. When you went through that diatribe earlier, I forgot that point. You want to know how you stop Kucherov from flopping? If he's going to want to draw a penalty, you cross-check him in the mouth and knock some teeth out. You make him, hey, you know what? I'm going to make sure you go down hard. That's how you do it. You stop it, right? Matt Barzal did that a couple of years ago where I thought he was diving a lot, and it wound up costing him with the referees, and they still, to this day, he doesn't get the penalty calls he should get. Today, he didn't get one either that he should have definitely gotten. But Kucherov was well-respected. So you know what you have to do? You have to inflict punishment on Kucherov. So you're not going to dive on me. You want to dive on me? I'm going to give you something to dive about. Dive down there and pick up your teeth.
Theodore A saying Uncle Leo to the bench and put a natural goal scorer in, a.k.a. Wallstrom.
Yep.
And then Brett W. there is saying there, Gary Bettman approves that call.
100% agreement.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's here we go. Mark S. They're also saying, TJ, I hate this even call BS too, and Sharp was a tool. Yeah, I just don't get it, right? Hey, we had to even things up there. That's
what the NHL doesn't do that. The NHL doesn't do that. That's why the guy got fired, because he said, you're going to have to even the calls up. He got fired for that. But here you got the guy on the national broadcast saying it. Why isn't he fired? Why isn't he reprimanded? Oh, you can't say that. That's not the way it works in the NHL. Yeah, right. Okay. Doesn't work like that in any sport. Make up calls.
Could you imagine them firing Patrick Sharp for saying something like that? Please. They love Patrick Sharp. They love him. And again, I usually like a lot of Patrick Sharp's takes, but when he said that, I'm just like, holy crap, could you be more out of touch?
What takes? He doesn't have any takes. He's freaking vanilla. He had a chance to have a take today, and he didn't take it. And Babcock slammed it for him. He says, you've been in the studio telling him wear too much makeup. Oh, boom. Nice shot, Babcock. Love it.
Well, you say he's too vanilla. Maybe that's why I like him, Grump, because you always say I'm a fence rider. You always say I'm vanilla. Maybe that's why I like Patrick Sharp.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Brett W. saying, I hope Ross Johnson met the ref who made that call in the parking lot.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good one. They should send Ross Johnson out there. What the heck? Kucherov, here you go, baby. You want to start taking a dive? I'll give you something to dive about.
Bam! No, he sent right to the box, because as soon as they try to do anything like that, they automatically say, oh, Ross Johnson's out here. He's trying to mix it up. Oh, we're going to separate him to the box. Angelo R. there saying that call was an effing joke. Then call everything. Yeah, for certain. John M. also saying there, the Islanders are not in Tampa's crease enough. Need to get in the goalie's kitchen to throw them off a little.
Mentioned that earlier, right? Particularly on the power play. Get two guys right there on the edge of the blue. I don't care if it's clogged up. We're not going to score pretty goals against Tampa. That's not the way we score goals, with the exception of 13. So the chances of scoring goals like that are slim, right? Slim and none, and slim left town. But you know what? You can score those ugly goals like we scored tonight by putting guys in front. That's how you have to do it.
Yeah, again, we're not going to be scoring the beautiful goals like Tampa does. I mean, like we've had a few really good chances, but it seems like Vasilevsky's always coming up big or hitting the post or the crossbar. And again, I thought game 1 and 2 we had more offensive chances in tonight. Game 4 is a must win for the Islanders. Michael B. there saying, "Well, my hat and my jacket are turned inside out, so back up the truck and call me Randy Quaid."
Oh shit! Okay,
I don't get the reference, Grupp. You're gonna have to break that down for me.
I don't know if he's talking about Independence Day or what's that other movie? Kingpin.
I was about to say I don't know who Randy Quaid is, so I'm glad you
Randy
pointed out.
Quaid, and he was in Kingpin. Remember the movie Kingpin?
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson. He was the big Amish kid. He played that. And in Independence Day, he was the guy who flew into the spaceship and blew it up.
Okay, gotcha. And then Matthew C saying, not only plant Kucherov, plant Point or Hedman. Hit something. I'll tell you, nobody really wants to throw the body of Hedman because he's 6'6", built like a tree trunk. So you don't see him run Hedman all that often. Again, it's no point trying to run Hedman because he is cool as a cucumber with the puck.
He is, but you know what? You run the other guy. It worked in game 1, and we just went away from it for some reason. I don't know why.
John M. there saying Nelson Line was invisible. Trotz needs to call him out and get them started for Saturday's game, game 4.
The thing is, you got 2 weak-ass bastards on that line, and it's tough. It's tough. When the going gets tough, they shrink, and they have.
Adrian there saying, who do you think they'll start in net and play game 4 on Saturday? Eddie said Barry will go with Varley. He's stubborn. I'll tell you one thing. There's no way Varlamov's coming out of the net. Varlamov was not the reason we lost tonight either. We could say maybe he would have made that first save because his lateral quickness, Sorokin's lateral quickness is insane. They're not going away from Varlamov. My
thing is Varlamov isn't as good a goalie as Sorokin. Varlamov he's sound. He plays well in the system. But he's not as good as Sorokin. Sorokin's better. Best guy should play.
You're going to have people say, Varlamov set the record for most shutouts in Islanders history this year and a shortened season. I'm just saying what other people are going to say. Hell, his save percentage was great. His goals against average was great in the regular season. He's played well. That's what you hear. Again, Varlamov's not the reason we lost tonight. Not at all. No. I have no problem with them rolling Varlamov out there again on game 4. No problem at all.
I'd rather play the best player, which is Sorokin. That's me. Barry doesn't believe in best player plays. That's obvious. He doesn't believe in best player plays.
Theodore A. said, we deserved this one. We got beat at our own game, good puck bounces, and being gritty and blocking shots. Tampa has the best goalie, the best NHL goalie. We need more shots on goals to win.
Pretty much spot on.
Also saying it's not Varlamov's fault. When we win the cup, Anders Lee hands it to Varlamov, and he's the first man to slug.
Yeah. Sorry. None of that's going to happen.
And Matthew C. there saying, Trotz isn't changing anything. His mentality is maybe they'll get it going next game. I'll leave it be.
Unless there are young guys in the lineup and they lose anyway, it doesn't matter. If the team get hit by a bolt of lightning, well, we lost. So the young guys are coming out. We're putting the old guys in. He just wants to play veterans. He don't trust the young guys. That's him in a nutshell.
John M. said, Kraken, please select Bailey or Letty. Sign Palmieri to a little over minimum, and you have Bello, Sean Gabriel, Pajot, and Palmieri on a third line. Well, Palmieri is going to get paid more than minimum. That's for certain. He's going to get paid, even though he didn't have a great regular season. I promise you, he's probably going to get north of $4 million a year. I'd be shocked if he didn't. And Kiefer Bellows' career is done with the Islanders.
Well, that's another failure on Barry Trotz's part. An absolute failure.
Well, I could tell you that is over. His fun in the sun with the Islanders are done. I would be shocked if he's not the one selected by the Kraken this year.
Well, you know how you stop the Kraken from selecting him? You protect them, and you expose all the fat cats who make money on this team. You make the Kraken pick somebody who earns money. That's how you do it. You protect the young guys and make, like I said, we're just a team of Jags with the exception of 13. Let everybody else I'd protect Putin. Well, this is off season, but
I
I'm
was
going
about
to tell
to say,
you
why
right
are
now,
you waiting on Grump? It's off season, man. Just move right along. Come on.
I'm just telling you, I'm protecting Koivula and Bellows for certain. Aho, all those guys. I don't want to give them the opportunity to pick a young guy who can develop. I wanted to pick one of these old geezers who are on long-term deals making a shitload of money. Those are the guys I'm exposing.
Well, thank you so much, Grump. It's an off-season question. We'll hit more on the off-season, but you gotta always say, God dang, I don't want him to do this. I want him to do that. We'll have plenty of time to talk about that in the off-season, Grump. So don't go ahead and spend too much with it. Coach Tommy B said, well, when we are behind there in the third period, then put Palmieri with them.
And they did that a little bit today. Go ahead, TJ. I'm sorry.
Why not roll Palmieri with him to start? I mean, like, what are we getting honestly from Leo? Again, I thought he played a good game 2. I thought he played a good job. Palmieri is really looking good. I thought Palmieri's been excellent this entire series. I thought Palmieri was really good against Boston. Hey, man, he's really finding his stride and really finding his groove. Maybe it's because he's playing with Jean-Gabriel Pageau, but why the hell not try to get the first line going? The first line has been visible in 5-on-5 play.
I don't think he's looking really good. He looks good in comparison. He's like, the girl who's playing, who hangs out with the fat chick, so he's going to look better because he's standing next to the fat chick. Okay. That's what the comparison is. He's no star. It's just because of the jags he has around him that he looks good. And here's the thing. He's one of the only guys who'll shoot the freaking puck. That's the thing. And that's unusual because we won't shoot the puck.
And in this analogy, who's the fat chick, Grumpy?
Everybody else on the team.
Freaking stop. Okay. You can maybe say it was the first 2 lines minus Matt Barzal. But Ariel C saying, Grumpy, I know you don't like the old guys, but the young guys aren't doing too well either. Bavilier looks awful. Dobson looks awful.
That's why I preach all year long to play the younger players. So when playoff time rolls around, you can depend on that.
Okay, well Bavilier is not a younger player. He's got a lot of experience.
Yeah, but what's the thing with Bavilier? He's streaky. Right now he's on a cold streak. He was on a hot streak against who was the first team? Pittsburgh and Boston. He was on a hot streak. Well, now he's on a cold streak, and that's why he looks awful. Dobson, because we never put him in there in meaningful situations. He's just content rolling out Letty and all the other guys where you should be developing Dobson for these circumstances. This way, when the playoffs roll around, those guys are ready to step up. They have higher upside. You have more chance to be a better team overall come playoff time, which is what it's all about.
Alexander said, as much as I hate to say it, we should try.
No, absolutely not. Then you got another guy who won't shoot the puck. At least Komarov will shoot the puck. He'll miss the net, but at least he'll shoot the puck.
John M. I was about to say, you can have a non-shooter in Barzal and a non-shooter in Josh Bailey. You'd probably get no shots there. John M. said Martin's best game of the playoffs. No need for Ross the Boss. That's right, Grump. You had that absolute magma reaction after game 2. And I think it was because we got bullied a little bit. You're like, throw Ross Johnson in there. Take out Matt Martin. Well, here's the thing. Matt Martin had an excellent game tonight. That's for certain.
That's exactly why I wanted Ross Johnson in there, because I'm sick. I don't want this. We should never get bullied by Tampa. By freaking Tampa? By Tampa? Tampa bullied us. The Tampa Bay freaking Lightning, they're a Charmin team. They bullied us last game. That's why I was hot. We got bullied by Tampa. It's like getting bullied by the St. Mary's Sisters of the Poor. You cannot get bullied by those teams. I'm sorry.
Playoffs? We're talking about the playoffs. Coach Tommy B said,
I remember watching that live. It was great.
Coach Tommy B said, why is Letty on the ice at the end of the game?
Why is Josh Bailey on the ice at the end of the game? Same thing. They both suck.
And we got also there, Matthew C. They're saying, I'm all for putting Wallstrom in, but I just don't see Trotz doing it. That's the approach I have too. They're not throwing Wallstrom out there. Doesn't matter what happens. I think he is going to be right in the pine here for the rest of the year. Ariel C. also saying playing a man up in the last 3 years has been a disadvantage for the Islanders when not the Islanders, not the opposing team. I cringe when we get on the power play or when we pull the goalie.
It's the truth. Because all we do is pass the puck around. The guys on the power play are the wrong guys. Okay, for the majority. You got Letty. Geez, he's a waste. I mean, he lost his spot last year to Taves, and then he has to play this year with the horrible Lou Lamoriello trade. I wonder if they count that failure of a trade when they look at GM of the year. They look at that nightmare deal. How did he get even nominated for that? Why don't they just call it the Lou Lamoriello Award? Then we don't have to worry about the fossil going up there collecting an award for something he had not where he had a poor year, as far as I'm concerned. F minus for Lamoriello.
Jesus Christ. Okay, the Palmieri deal has worked out in the playoffs. That being said, look at the offseason.
Okay, it worked out for the playoffs. Well, guess what? You gave up a first and a fourth round pick for 15 games and an abbreviated playoff run. Yeah, congratulations. That's a great deal.
Okay, here's
and
the
then
thing.
You trade a 25-year-old defenseman who's absolutely lighting it up in Colorado. We trade him for 2 second-round picks. Fantastic move. Great job, Lou, because you mismanaged the cap. Great job.
Here's the thing. I thought the Palmieri trade was a good one made by Lou. I think you don't like it, whatever. No point of fighting on that. Here's the thing. People say, oh, well, look how far Devon Taves got. Look at what he did for Colorado in the playoffs. Here's the thing, right? Devon Taves is a top pairing defenseman in the NHL for the majority of the teams in the league. Bare minimum top 4. You gave up a guy without character issues, without locker room issues, a guy who's a top pairing defenseman for 2 second-round picks. That is highway robbery. The only time you see defensemen get moved that are top 4 defensemen are in your cases like your PK Subans, like your Dougie Hamiltons that are trouble in the locker room, and they still get moved for pretty enormous amounts. I know PK Subban, when he was moved there to the Devils, wasn't moved for a lot, relatively low second, et cetera. But I mean, a guy who has riddled with a quote unquote locker room issues. Dougie Hamilton riddled with locker room issues. But Devon Taves doesn't have those. Devon Taves also, I think, plays more defense. I'd say Dougie Hamilton is an excellent player. I think Dougie Hamilton probably, if I was rating him, be the one with the highest upside. But locker room issues drop him down. But they didn't get enough for Devon Taves in the offseason, to answer your question.
And they signed him to a 4-year on the cheap deal too, which you couldn't get done here. $4.1 million a year for a guy who's going to be your top defense pairing for the next who knows how many years. What's he, 25, 26? And you bought out as a restricted free agent. They bought out 3 years of unrestricted free agency by giving him $4.1 million a year.
Here we go.
That's a complete failure as a trade. Absolutely, that's a F double minus. That's a Kyle Palmieri with a cherry on top trade.
Jesus freaking Christ. Moving along, Grump. I don't have enough time for this BS. We're at damn 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time. John O'Neill said, I'm proud of them. Nice run, but it looks like their luck may have run out.
That's it.
Absolutely. John M. there saying, Grumpy, I think John Gabriel Pageau is really hurt. His physicality was way down tonight. Such a gamer, though. Here's the thing. I even mentioned that to Grumpy. I said, the way he went out as a precautionary reason, I think he's more banged up than they're putting on to be. And every single year after the playoffs, you see them always come out with a line of like, oh, player has this injury. He will need surgery. Player will be out for this amount of time. Player will have this. And I wonder how serious that John Gabriel Pageau injury actually is.
Yeah. Obviously he's hurt. He was not very noticeable tonight. I thought the third, you think the third line was great. I thought they were okay in spurts, but consistency wise, I mean, it was just Tampa all night, I thought.
Matthew C. They're also saying there, Letty is a slug. His body is there, but his mind's on vacation. I love that. His mind's on vacation.
Agreed.
Josh H. there saying, please put Wally in the lineup. What do you have to lose right now?
Yeah, you can't score a goal. Cannot score. He shoots the puck. If you shoot the puck, you have a chance of scoring. I'd bench Josh Bailey. You want to send a message? Bench that piece of shit.
Grump. We're 2 hours in. I don't have enough time for you to make those inane, ridiculous comments. We got a lot of comments to read through, Grump. Ariel C saying the barn was kind of quiet for a little bit of the game, but I can't really blame them. With the play they watched.
Yeah, to me, it was like an exhibition game. Tampa Bay just controlled all the action. Boring. I didn't think it was an exciting game at all.
Matthew C. there saying Letty is simply lackadaisical for certain plays and earned the very, very loving nickname Lazy Letty. And then Matthew S. saying Letty looks disinterested.
Well, I mean, you're preaching to the choir here. Just expose his ass.
Tom White there saying we lost so many puck battles tonight.
That's true. They beat us at our own game.
Gustav F. They're saying here, that BS call made by the refs to give them the go-ahead goal by Tampa with 15 seconds left in the second period. All the effort the Islanders put in the middle frame went out the window because of that dreadful call by the ref. I don't disagree with that. You want to talk about letting the wind out of the sails, letting the momentum go? That bullshit call definitely did cost us. It didn't help. I mean, like, it didn't cost us a game, but it definitely negatively impacted the Islanders. I'll try to never blame the referees. I think it may have made an impact there on the end result, but it was definitely it was an awful call.
I mean, what were the 2 penalties the whole night? I mean, what they call one for each team. I mean,
hey, they had to even up, Grump.
Yeah.
They had to even up, Patrick Sharp told us.
Yeah.
Brian P. said, the problem is our fourth line can't be your best line if you want to win a championship.
Very true. And they're all in their 30s. They're all in their 30s.
Is Casey in his 30s? I thought he was like 29 or something.
He's 30.
Okay. Angelo R. saying Nelson hasn't been a disaster all playoffs. You're nuts. I agree, Grump. You are nuts with that.
No. He scored a couple of goals, but he's been a nightmare defensively. They've lost their assignment. Their assignment is to mark the best line we have. They've lost that because they've been so bad. They were lit up. They were lit up against Boston and this series too. They look terrible. I'm sorry. That line's been terrible.
Theodore A. also saying there, not like we haven't been underdogs before, 2-1. Let's go, boys. Game 4 is ours. Let's send them to Game 7 where all the pressure is on the defending champ cocksuckers.
Well, I guess we found out who the better division is, though.
Okay, stop. Freaking stop. Stop right now. Okay, Tampa's the most talented team in the NHL. The series isn't over. It's 2-1, Grump. You're over here dooming, glooming it up. Holy shit, man. I'm sorry.
They were the third.
Parade right now.
Yeah, but they were the third best team in their division.
They played without their best player on their team and the second best offensive threat in their team for more than 16 plus games. Could you imagine us without us playing with Matt Barzal and I'm not even sure who the second best offensive threat is. Oh, could you imagine us playing without Matt Barzal and Anders Lee all season long?
Oh, I was going to say JG Pajot. I think JG Pajot is a better player than Anders Lee.
God almighty, Grump. Take a breath, my guy. You're running out of breath over there. You got any more drink? I need you. Hey, man, we got a lot of comments here, but get yourself a drink. We're making it last season. Oh, goodness. The purple drink is out. Oh,
you get what you get. You get what you get at 10 after 1 in the morning. Sorry.
Oh, man. I am not the reason why this is. It is what it is, Grumpy. Matthew C. They're saying, I don't get it. We targeted McAvoy against Boston. Why can't we do it now with Sergachev?
Because it worked. So Barry figures, well, you know what? And it worked in game 1 against Sergachev. But Barry's, I'm gonna prove I'm smarter than John Cooper. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna play passive.
I can't with you right now. I can't with you right now, Grumpy old man. I know you're just joking around, but Jesus, man, it's too late for that stuff.
That's what we need to do. We need to target their defense, but we've not done it. We've not dump and chase, hit their guys. It's a real simple game plan that we just haven't executed.
Brian P. also saying absolute Barzal is setting up one guy who is a fourth liner and a winger who goes on a list stretch of games where he is invisible.
Yep, you got milk carton on one side and helicopter on the other. I mean, that's why it's the helicopter line. Mm-hmm. And you expect the kid. What do you expect from the kid? He's got no talent playing with him. None. It's like Tavares when he was here. Same thing.
D-Cut there saying, I'd love to move Eberle this offseason and use the money to re-sign Palmieri.
I'd love to move Eberle this offseason and use the money to sign somebody else. Not somebody in their freaking 30s. I don't want guys in their 30s. I want guys who are going to be here for a while.
Are you talking about maybe a guy like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins?
I take a Ryan Nugent-Hopkins without a doubt. He's a young guy with offensive talent. Why not take a run at him? Absolutely. I don't want a guy in his 30s. How many guys in our 30s do we need on this team? We don't need the geriatric line. We need some young players who can grow with the team with the young guys. That's what we need. Forget the old guys.
Adrian saying, TJ Grumpy, how are you guys doing tonight? Well, Grump, not so great. We lost, but I've almost worked off the anger and the steam to where it's almost about the time where I'm going to have a good night of sleep.
I'm better than Tuesday night.
Good.
Tuesday night was bad for me.
Absolutely. I know it was bad. You went on freaking DEFCON 1. Matthew C also saying dump and chase works, but you actually just have to do it. Hell, and Butch has been saying again. I'm not watching the MSG feed or anything like that, but apparently he's been saying it: dump and chase, dump and chase, dump and chase. So I'm glad he's saying it because that's exactly what they need to do.
That's right. There is no MSG feed at this stage of the playoffs, but they do have I think the pre and post game. But he's right. Butch is right. I tell you, like I said, I appreciate Butch. He's another guy who likes to rip the young guys and gives the older guys a pass, but he knows hockey. And he's 100% right on that.
Yeah. And Brian P there saying, absolutely, at least Paul Mary brings other things when he's not scoring. Eberle either scores or he's invisible.
Very true. But I don't want Palmieri. I don't want either one.
He also says 4 years for Eberle is enough. No hard feelings. Just go pack your shit. You're gone, Eberle.
No problem there.
Oh.
I'd move half the guys on this team if I was GM. Half of them. Pennies on the dollar. Start over.
Blow it up. Here we go. Here we go, Grump. Here we go. Starting up the old engine. I'm sorry, Grump. Adrian also saying there, love you guys. Love you too, Adrian. Matthew, they're saying, I don't know if they're scared of the big goof talking about Hedman, but just hit him, wear him down. I just don't think they could wear down Hedman. He's just so big. The hits that just bounce off of him. It's like when you try to throw and run Char, hit him up. He's just so damn big. He's built so well, and he's so controlled back there. It really doesn't phase him.
They have the best defenseman in the league, the best goalie in the league, and probably one of the top – they probably have 3 of the top 15 players in the league and 2 of the top 5. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, they're an outstanding team. Gotcha. Moving right along there. Ray Santana, they're saying, from a Lightnings fan here, love your guys' channel. Keep up the good work. I think, you guys played well. We got lucky for holding the 2-on-1 the entire third period. Vasilevsky saved us again.
Good time to be a Lightning fan, I'll tell you that much.
Hey, man, if you're a Lightning fan,
or if you're a Tampa Bay fan, I mean, right, you got the Rays. They made it to the World Series last year. You got the Lightning, probably going to be 2-time Stanley Cup champions with a great coach. And then you got the greatest of all time, Tom Brady, leading your Tampa Bay Buccaneers to a Super Bowl title. These are good times to be a Tampa fan.
The reason I threw my head down immediately is because I knew he wouldn't be able to resist making another Tom Brady and Tampa Bay Buccaneers comment. He loves them. It's definitely on the bingo sheet there. Theodore A there said, Ray, appreciate your post 1,000% right there. Yeah, absolutely there. Moving right along there, comment wise there. Vinny Smith, our boy there, says tonight's Bailey report once again missing in action. The turnover machine had 2 more tonight. Still on the power play, which is awful. 2 power play goals in his last 153 games now. Trotz should be fired for leaving him on the power play. Turn on next game where Bailey disappears again. You suck, Bailey. Okay, definitely not. Vinny Smith is definitely not a Bailey fan.
But yeah, how can you be? He is okay. What he is. But here's the thing. Barry Trotz shouldn't be fired for that. But at some point in time, you have to put somebody on the power play who's capable of scoring. There's no way. I mean, it's not a God-given right. It wasn't written into his contract that he gets to play on the power play. When Josh Bailey's playing on the power play, guess what it means? You don't have a power play. And you don't have enough talent on offense when you put a piece of garbage like that on a power play unit.
Okay. I've got to chime in here, Grump. We're throwing Travis Zajac out there on the power play. Could you imagine if we took Josh Bailey off? Who else would be thrown on there? Would we put Matt Martin back on the power play? Would we put Casey Cizikas or Cal Clutterbuck on the power play? Come on, man. I look at the options they throw out there, and I would be terrified to see if they took Josh Bailey off the power play. I know he doesn't score a lot of power play goals. As a whole, I know this series hasn't been great. I think as a whole, Josh Bailey has had a good playoffs. I think he's made a lot of really good key passes. Okay, let's give him that. Let's be honest. Let's be fair here, Grump.
Okay, here's the thing. 2 years ago, you told me that Scott Gomez was the problem on the power play, and what did I tell you? We don't have enough talent on the power play. We haven't done anything to improve the team in 2 years. You want to know why the power play isn't any good? It's not because Josh Bailey's on it. It's because we don't have enough talent on the power play. Okay, that's just the bottom line.
That thing you say, that thing you do pisses me off sometimes, Grump. They haven't done anything to improve the team in 2 years. It's just not true. It's not true, Grumpy. Jean-Gabriel Pageau was an improvement there on the team. They've made improvements to the team. They've integrated, young guys, hey, like Dobson, Wallstrom, kind of, here and there, dribs and drabs. They've done things to improve the team. Maybe not to your liking, but they have done things to improve the team. I hate when you say they haven't done anything to improve the team in 2 years.
The only reason that Dobson is playing is because Johnny Boychuk lost a freaking eye. That's the only reason he's playing. Otherwise, he'd be out there. That's the only reason he's playing. It's because Johnny can't play anymore. If he could roll freaking Johnny out, he'd roll Johnny out. And Dobson would be on the bench like last year when he was better than – Dobson was better than Johnny last year, but Johnny played and Dobson sat because that's Barry Trotz. Why did Oliver Wallstrom play this year? Because they let go of Brassard. And who was the other piece of garbage they let go of?
I know Brassard was the big one. That's the spot he took, is Brassard. And again, Michael Del Cole played a few games up there last year.
Freaking Del Cole. Michael Del Cole. Think about that. He, of the 2 goals in his entire career, was good enough to play on the second line for a spell. Think about that. Right?
He played on the first line. He played on the first line for a few shifts this year too. Well, they got comments there. They said, I'll even take Michael Del Cole on the third line.
There it is. There I am. Karnak again, right?
These are comments that have already been made, Grumpy. I know you don't look at them. These are comments that have already been made.
It's like the envelope. The envelope. He pulls out the envelope. The answer's already been written. I look at the envelope, and I can just feel it. And there you go. It pops up.
D-Cut said, how about Casper? Casper the friendly ghost.
Well, it's funny. We have Casper. Why? He's just Josh Bailey 2.0.
Our boy Derek. Casper, baby, he loves him. He is a Simon Holmstrom through and through. And I'll tell you one thing, I am going to love it. If Simon Holmstrom bursts on the scene, is one of the most amazing players since sliced bread. If he's a second coming of Gretzky, I'm going to love it. I'm going to have a shit-eating grin on my face all the time. And I'll tell you one thing, Dirk is going to get a shout out every single podcast if that's the case, saying, hey, Grump, I think Dirk was right.
Okay, Dirk is going to get a shout out on every if
Casper, Holmstrom's better than Leo, he says, for sure.
I bet he's not better than Leo.
Oh, stop. Hey, Frank K also saying, hey, bring up Casper.
I just love how everybody calls him Casper now. I just love it. But the whole thing is with Casper, we could have had Tomasino or Kaliev or McMichael. Those guys could already be on the first line. But we're stuck with Casper and his minus 40 in Bridgeport.
Oh,
I guarantee you won't be playing a big team with a minus 40. That much I can guarantee you. But you watch. We're going to jam him in the lineup. Let's sit Wallstrom, but we're going to put this piece of shit Casper in there. You know why? He reminds me of Josh Bailey, another failure.
Stop. Brian P. also said Casper might be ready by 2029. He won't be old enough, Grump. He won't be playing Kuhnhackl with Lou Lamoriello until that time period.
Lou might be dead by then.
Oh, goodness. Ray Santana also said, stop, Grump. Ray Santana said, gotta run, guys. You guys stay classy. Don't beat yourselves up too much. You have a great team. Awesome fans. Thanks for kicking the stupid Bruins out. Good luck in game 4. Yeah, we're going to need the luck. That's for certain.
I'm not going to bag on Ray, but it's really easy to be magnanimous like that when your team is so freaking good. But, hey, I've been saying – I hope Ray's a fan, honestly, and listens to this podcast on a regular basis because I have been saying for years that Tampa's the best team in the league. I admire them. I mean, they're really good. I don't mind getting beat by Tampa. I really don't. Other teams would really eat me up to lose, but not to Tampa. They're just better than we are.
D-Cut said, if no Trotz, then we were the Sabres. A lazy narrative to blame the coach. I tell you this, Crump. Trotz is an outstanding coach. We both believe he's an outstanding coach. There's just little things that kind of like little tiny things where I'm like, holy crap, we're so close on the cusp. I know Grump doesn't think it. I think we're Stanley Cup competitors and contenders. I know Grump doesn't believe it until we're in the Stanley Cup. Maybe until we hoist 7 cups in a row, Grump won't believe we're real Stanley Cup contenders, but he's wrong on that point. I'll tell him that all the time. Every day of the week, I'll tell him he's wrong on that.
That's fine. And the only issue I have with Barry Trotz is that he's totally inflexible. That's the issue I have with him. He's just totally inflexible when it comes to certain things.
Yeah. Brian P. also said the Islanders have 5 goals in 3 games. That's not going to win. I'm sick of hearing Zajac is so good. He's got 1 goal and no assists in 10 games. I think Zajak's done an adequate job. He's not the answer there at the third line. I have no problem at all rolling back out there, Oliver Wahlstrom. Here's the thing.
He's not the Zajac of 10 years ago. He's just a Jag. He's a Jag now. That's all he is. Nothing wrong with that. He's 36 years old. He is what he is. They shouldn't have that. Just don't piss on me and tell me that it's raining, because that's what the Islanders like to do and certain websites like to do. They like to, hey, I'm going to pee on you and tell you it's raining. No.
Hold the phone, Grump. Are you trying to tell me when Arthur Stable wrote that article, towards the tail end of the year, that Leo Komarov was really starting to turn around and look like a first-line left winger? Are you trying to tell me he was pissing on us and he was, shooting the breeze and lying to us, Grump? There's no way. Absolutely not. Leo Komarov is a bona fide first-line left winger. And if you say otherwise, you're not a believer in Barry. You're not trusting in Trotz. You're not believing what you're seeing out there on the ice, because there's no way that Leo Komarov first-line left winger.
No, the whole thing is I believe what I see on the ice. See, that's the problem. I don't believe in the fake news that they put out there. I know what I see. I know I watch all the games. I know what I see out there on the ice. It's not a secret.
Have you, speaking of that, as soon as you said I don't believe in fake news, I wish I had a little Trump. You are fake news. And there's another one, Grump. I know you don't keep up with the memes, but there's a moment where Kamala Harris there comes out there and she says, "Do not come." And she's talking about, I think the immigrants there coming up to the border. Again, nothing political about this, but she says, "Do not come." And they cut to a clip of Donald Trump said, "I'm going to come." and it's always like this funny meme where it's like,
Kamala Harris is telling the immigrants not to come anymore.
It doesn't even matter. But she says,
"No, I'm just asking. Is that what she said?"
I think again, I don't watch too much about it, but there's a clip of her saying, "Do not come," and I believe it's regarding that. And then it goes immediately to Trump said, "I'm going to come," and I love that, because like the memes where it's all over the place, and we got to find a way to fit that little meme into our podcast. Do not come. I'm going to come. I laugh every time I see it. The memes online are so funny about it. Anyway, moving right along there. I'm sorry, Grump. Make your comment.
Yeah, there's a reason why we don't let you do comedy on this show. Next.
God almighty. Theodore A saying, if we're limited with talent, TJ, then why the F is the natural goal scorer who's quick and young like Wahlstrom not in the first line over the veterans who do not produce?
Because Barry's inflexible. Period. He doesn't trust young players. He only wants, and he's been like that everywhere he's been. That's just who he is. That's why he doesn't win. Well, I mean, he won one Stanley Cup, but usually he's one or two done in the playoffs. That's been his whole history. He's done better here than he's done everywhere else. Okay. Honestly,
he's had unbelievable success here. That's right. He's made it to the 2 years in a row. 2 out of 3 years.
That's what I just said. He's done better here than he's done everywhere else he's been.
Yeah. Tom White also saying Trotz plays 47 and 14 because they're good away from the puck. These young guys are still learning. I would hope he can get them some action before the end.
See, that's why you play the young guys during the season, so you can teach them how to play during the game so they learn from game action. So when come playoff time, those guys, you can put them in. They have higher upside. They can score more, and you don't have to rely on guys who are 34, 35, and 36 years old, because you've developed the young guys in the season. Maybe you lose 3 or 4 points, whatever. As long as you make the playoffs, that's all that matters. But you improve your team. That's my motto. I've been preaching it for years. Barry doesn't believe in it. That's why we're in the situation we're in now.
Oh, God, stop. When you make comments like that, I don't have time to fight you. We're 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Let's go to the next comment then.
Yes, so fucking ridiculous. You make those comments like that, I'm not going to fight you on it right now because we're way too early. Theodore A, or way too late. Theodore A said, "Thank you, Grump. A natural goal scorer on the first line with Barzal." Moving right along there. Storm Chaser 234 says, "Hey guys, you talk about chipping and chasing. I was on the shoot 2 times side, and it seems that at the time when we did that, it got us nowhere. Tampa is a force when it comes to quickly getting the puck out. Here's the thing: even if you're not getting it in immediately, it's one of those consistent effort things. You've got to do it over the longevity of the game. It might not work to start. You hit the defenseman enough, they're going to make a mistake, and that's when we have to capitalize. We are a counter-strike team that make other teams pay when they make mistakes, and we haven't had a lot of mistakes that the Tampa Bay Lightning have made because we haven't forced them to make mistakes."
But we're only dumping the puck halfway down. It's never going all the way down. Their guys very rarely have to turn and get all the way back behind Vasilevsky. The passes in there are weak. They're just able to turn and pick them up halfway down the boards. You got to dump it to the back and run them. That's how you have to do it.
Brian P said, look at Montreal. They turned their playoffs around by putting Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, and Tyler Toffoli together. Well, here's the thing, too, right? You looked at the first series when they were playing Toronto. I think through 5 games, they had 4 goals. And they said, screw it. We're going to give Cole Caulfield more time. We're going to give Suzuki more time. We're going to go ahead and thrust them in the scene. And it worked out for them. But, hey, not every team's the same. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you let young guys use their talent as opposed to, well, let's just play it as safe as possible. Sometimes you got to roll the dice a little bit.
Dirk C there saying, I think we should be happy. We're again in the semifinals with the group of players. Yes, I want a cup too, but it won't happen. The team, like Grump said, not enough talent. I don't disagree. Mario also said Grump is right there. Look at how well Caulfield and Suzuki are playing in Montreal.
True.
Absolutely. Moving right along there. He's saying also the offensive scheme is archaic at best. Well,
I don't think we have an offensive scheme.
Our offensive scheme is to capitalize on mistakes, which is more of a defensive scheme. We use the defense as a good offense type of strategy. Brian P said Gallant is a good coach. He lets his players make plays work well with young guys.
Right. That's what I said. Watch out for the Rangers next year. He did a really good job in Florida. And my God, he went to an expansion team. They were a little bit older, but they had a lot of young players too, guys who'd never been given a chance. And they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals. Think about it. That's the only year Trotz won a cup, when they played an expansion team.
Frank K saying this year is most likely the Islanders' last shot. The window is closing. I won't be as pessimistic. I think our window is closing. I'd be disingenuous if I said it wasn't. Here's the thing, though: if you want the window to stay open a little longer, you have to find a way to offload some of the older guys. You have to find a way to, hey, we're offloading some of the older guys. We're trying to get the youth coming back through. You got to hit on the draft though too. Your next few drafts, you have to freaking hit. If you miss on the next, you're done.
You can't be trading away draft picks every year. You can't be trading away your first-round draft picks every year to get older guys. You just can't do it. That's why I'm just saying, you know what? It's okay to rebuild. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. We have enough cachet. The fans are back. It's okay. We're going to a new building. Don't be afraid to just get rid of the old guys and try to load up in the next couple of years and get a younger team. And there's nothing wrong with that. This team has gone as far as it can go. It's plateaued.
Tommy B did not like that comment by Frank Kane. He said, cut your hair.
Tommy's jealous because he's bald.
Oh, just like us too, Grump. Mario also said, I disagree. The Islanders are in the conference finals without Lee, just like last year. They're in the finals there again without Lee, just like last year. Here's the thing. Interesting question. Do you give credit more? You got to give credit to Trotz on that. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind Lee is a huge step over Komarov. I give ultimate credit there to Barry Trotz for that. I do.
Barry Trotz gets his most out of a team that is not real talented because everybody buys in. No doubt about it. That said, his inflexibility is what beats him in the playoffs. You have to be able to make changes, and he refuses. He just refuses. He's been like that his whole career. That's why he doesn't advance very far every year.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't fight you on that yet because it's too late. I'm sorry, dude. This year, the last 3 years, he's had unrivaled success with the Islanders. He's brought us to the semis the last 2 years in a row with a cast and crew that is not very talented. We talk about it all the time. You got to give ultimate credit there to Trotz. The only thing I have an issue with, again, I have an issue because he is kind of rigid. He is afraid to let guys and young players occasionally work through it. I mean, he is what he is. That's his MO. That's the only issue really I have with Trotz. And again, sometimes goalies we have issues with, but not right now. That hasn't been a big issue as of this series. Greg Frost here says, need to get Komarov off the first line. Everly sleeping, and Kroc is also sleeping.
Yes.
Yeah. Frankie also said, I'm dyeing my grays tomorrow. Tommy B said, dyeing blue and orange, my guy. Blue and orange.
What's he going to use, magic marker on his head?
No, stop, Grumpy. No. Not Tommy B's dying it. Frank K's dying it, Grump.
Oh, so, I thought he said, okay.
Frank K said,
I'm sorry. The pictures were flashing too fast.
Owen J there said, I think it's time for Sorokin. He's not going to play. And again, Varlamov's not the reason we lost. So you even though maybe Sorokin, you could have made an argument. He's outstanding lateral movement. He may have made that save on the first shot. Varlamov's still going to be in that.
Yeah, because that's just the way it is. Sorry.
Tom
like I said, just another example. Best player's not playing there because he'd rather go with the vet. That's fine.
Tom White also said, I have a good feeling that we will play Wally on Saturday.
Why not? Why not? You can't score. We're no threat on offense, just none.
Tommy B said Tanner Fritz is ready for some action on Saturday.
He's a perfect fit.
Go Bobo Carpenter on the first line. Hell yeah. Hey, man, why not? Who the hell is that? Oh, I messed up his name. I was going to mess up his name. He used to play for, you know what? Durando. Holy shit. You thought of the same player I was thinking about. Durando. I was going to call him Darno, like, the baseball player, but I was like, Durando. As soon as we thought about it at the same time. Thank you there, Grump, for that.
I carnacted to you.
Oh, thank you. Tommy B also said Holmstrom to the first line on Saturday. Hey,
he'd be
Uncle Leo. Dirk C's letting us know.
Yeah, he would be the first guy online for hot dogs. That's the only place he's going.
Here's some 4D chess you're playing right here. Some next level thinking. He said, "How don't we go with Barzal? On a line there with his wings being Tanner Fritz and Bobo Carpenter. Hey, maybe something. Maybe Brian P's onto something.
Isn't that what we have now?
Grump, see, like you, man, you messed the audio up when you speak over me. That was a good joke, but he's like, you couldn't wait 2 seconds. Come on, Grumpy. Coach Tommy B there saying, how come we never discuss the fact that Letty and Mayfield, Green and Dobson suck at shooting from the point? Okay, here's the thing. I think Dobson does a good job of putting the puck on net. He might not score from the point, but I think he's got the most assists on our team from a defenseman. It's because he's good towards the net.
He's good putting the puck on net. In this series, they've been just collapsing, so he's not been shooting the puck. Green never shoots at all. Mayfield occasionally does. Letty never shoots. Dobson shoots if there's a chance to put it on net. That's his MO, and he's been like that all year. That's what makes him a success on the power play. When our power play is working, he's able to put the puck on net and therefore generate chances for guys like Average, the garbage man, to potentially chip a shot back in.
Greg Frost said, I don't need to see a half-naked porn star on a hockey podcast. I'm out of here. Bye, guys. He said, what is he saying? Oh, my God, look at me. He's coming at my tank top. Holy crap. Hey,
I don't see why you were in a freaking tank top.
I went to the gym today, Grump, and I don't want to have to change shirts and have to do a whole bunch of excess laundry. Do I need to go ahead and have a change my shirt for the podcast? I'll do it, I guess, if people really don't like seeing me in a tank top.
Whatever.
Fair enough there. And we also got comments here. Brian P saying there, Barzal would have 8 more points this postseason if Lee was playing with him over that statue of Komarov. Also, Lee would be making a difference. Like I say there, come on, Grump, use your brain.
No. See.
He'd have to take, hold on, stop. I would take half of a Lee over Komarov any day.
Okay. Again, because you just kept on parroting that point. That's not what I said. I said he would be making a difference because he's better than Komarov. I just said he's not a difference maker as a player. He's not a difference maker as a player. That's all I'm saying.
I'm glad you clarified it when you originally said it and everybody else heard it.
No. That is exactly what I said, but you just kept on pumping that narrative, and now other people are saying it.
No,
he's not a difference maker.
He would not be making a difference. He would not, is what you said verbatim.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Oh my God. Anyway, moving right along there. Brian P also said, I knew TJ wouldn't know who Skipper was.
The skipper.
And Tommy B also said TJ knows who the ginger is, though. I don't know what that is.
No, ginger. Not the ginger.
Oh, I don't know who Ginger is either.
Yeah, he's just freaking loser, man. He doesn't know anything.
Oh, thanks there. Tom White also saying Tampa Bay runs that high cycle so well and it generates so many shots there, so many high slot chances. It's
the talent they have that they're able to implement that. We couldn't do that. Our guys are not equipped to do stuff like that. Just not.
Tom White there says Grumpy sounds like Mr. Howell. I don't know what that means, but I think you would maybe, Grump.
Mr. Howell, I wish I had his money. Thurston Howell the third, I think he was. And his wife was Lovey. Was his wife.
I'm going to say
a 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour.
Brian P. said.
They started getting rough. The tiny ship was tossed. And not for the courage of the something crew, the minnow would be lost. The minnow would be lost.
So this is another not Castaway. What the hell is that? It's another Gilligan's Island reference.
Gilligan's Island. That was a theme song to Gilligan's Island.
Okay, Crum. Sorry, I never watched Gilligan's Island. Brian P. said Cooper's an excellent coach. He won championships in the AHL and now has been to 5 different conference finals in 7 years. He developed all those players. Okay, when you're a Hall of Fame caliber player, you're going to develop no matter who your coach is. Here's my thing. If he doesn't come away with more Stanley Cups, he is a flop. He is overrated. Here's my point. I'm going to say it again. 3 to 5 NHL Hall of Fame caliber players. You're a hideous coach if you don't win more than 1 cup with them. That's all I'm saying.
All right. All Brian had to do was put in the back end and 2 Stanley Cups. Back-to-back.
Okay, so
that's all he needs to put down because it's going to happen.
Oh, hey, Tommy Biel said, grumpy old man needs some coconut cream pie.
Coconut cream pie. Yeah, everything. Yeah. The Island had plenty of coconuts.
Tom Whittle says NBC wants ratings there. And Mario, let's be honest, Lamoriello won last year based off of reputation. He did. Did he do a better job of improving this team than Neil? Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't think he did this year either. How can you not say the guy in Florida should be GM of the year?
Okay, can we also mention this? Rob Brindamore wins head coach of the year. And again, yeah, okay, the Carolina Hurricanes won that division. But I'm sorry, how did Quenneville not win?
Because Carolina beat out Florida. I don't like Brindamore because he used to play for the damn Flyers, but he's a good coach, really good.
I'm just going to say this, right? I'm just going to say this here. Florida was a much worse team last year before Quenneville, and with Quenneville, the difference was noticeable. Just like, beforehand, before Trotz, the Islanders were hideous. With Trotz, the difference was noticeable his first year, just like with Quenneville last year. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I mean, I think Quenneville's the best coach in the NHL, but Brindamore's pretty good too.
I'm moving right along there. Kevin H. there is saying we'll take it one game at a time. With a possible last game ever in the Coliseum, no way the boys won't bring it.
Well, let's hope so.
Time B saying, work in the morning, gents. Nice job tonight. Let's get them on Saturday. Let's go Islanders. Absolutely. Absolutely. We're wrapping things up here today too, guys. For 2 hours and 30 minutes. And I see there on YouTube says, Owen, I believe if Sorokin is playing, we're up 2-1 or 3-0. Wow.
Maybe 2-1, not 3-0.
And Brian P. said, I'm surprised TJ knows the playoffs rant. Oh, man, that's a classic rant. And then Dirk C. there said, didn't help Colorado. They are out of the playoffs before us without him. So I think about that. Think about Taves. And Phil Fax also saying Taves is 27. Again, Taves is in the prime of his career, entering the prime of his career. Phil Fax had to let you know, man. He had to do the facts. Taves is 27, Grom.
He's probably 26, just turned 27. Who knows? I don't trust Phil's facts.
No, he's 27. He's 27. The Wicked 50 Cal said, every time I think of Holmstrom, I want to puke. What a waste of a first-round pick. I wanted Kaliev, McMichael, etc. Who are the guys you wanted, Grumpy?
Philip Tomasino, Kaliev, and Connor McMichael.
You always forget his name is Arthur Kaliev. I don't know how you forget his first name. Arthur Kaliev.
Because I want to make him a Russian, even though he's not.
He's American.
I know he is. He's from Long Island. What a perfect pick for the Islanders, right? Goal scorer from Long Island. That makes too much sense. Let's pick Casper, the useless ghost.
Brian P. said the GM award is a joke. The Islanders were crumbling last year, went on a 17-game unbeaten streak and a points and point streak, and they were holding on to a playoff spot and got saved by COVID, and he wins the award because of the COVID run. Yeah,
true.
Don't disagree there. Frankie J. They're saying the $18 million cap space frauds.
Yeah, I'm not going there.
Hey. I'm not disagreeing there. Brian P. said, you have a better chance of Bezos giving Amazon to you before Casper is a star. Holy shit. God almighty, Brian P. God almighty. Adrian saying, hi, TJ, what is up? Yeah, and I tell you, Brett W. said Arthur Staple needs to come back to earth. Uncle Leo's a jag. Well, no, I think Arthur Staple's just making some bullshit up there to go ahead and make the organization happy. Hey, man, he tries to get fed the inside information. And again, I love that article when he said, hey, Leo Komarov is coming into form as a first-line left winger. He brings a lot to the table that you fans just aren't smart enough to realize. I love it. I laughed my ass off. Mm-hmm. And Brian P. said, it's funny that Montreal got a boost when they threw Caulfield and Suzuki to Foley on the first line. Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah. or even,
Young
and
talent.
Al said, or even Jacob Pelletier. Pelletier. I'm sorry, Grump. It's late. Pelletier was my guy. Hold on. Adrian said, I'm a huge Tampa Bay fan, but I have lots of respect for the Islanders. Oh, no, Adrian. I didn't know you're a Tampa Bay fan.
Well, hey, you know what? Adrian's in a good position. That's all I got to say.
Brian P. said, TJ's got better talent than Leo. Oh, damn.
Yeah. I agree with that, too. I hate to say it.
Oh, thank you, Grump. Frankie J also says, how many more times are we going to have to say that we had a good season? We'll be back next year before it gets old. We have to get to the same spot and lose every year. We get to the same spot and lose every year.
That's why you need to retool.
Yeah. Too much specific said, sorry for the late join, but Letty has to go. Full stop.
Agreed.
The zoo band there, our friend there, Randall, there saying, just got home from performing the pregame at the zoo and watching the game from section 225. So upset. We should have challenged that second goal. Wishing you guys the best. Tough loss.
Yeah, I agree.
And Vicky Fitikal said, Kaliev's dad is from Russia or Ukraine, is technically from Staten Island. Grumpy.
Okay.
Got one more comment here. Yeah, I told you he was from the United States. William C. there saying, I get that Tampa's great. I just don't get how the players don't get pissed off and fired up to avenge the defeat from last year. Don't see us getting back to the Eastern Conference Final again. The Metro is stacked.
Well, it's tough. Tampa's just good. I mean, yeah, that's why. I mean, losing to Tampa, there's no shame in losing to Tampa. They're just the best team in the league by a lot.
Brian P. also saying, I'll call you from the Coliseum on Saturday, all drunk. LOL, great show.
I'd love to talk to Brian, but I can tell I'm gonna have to cut him off too, though.
If you're drunk, Brian P., I'll tell you, he's gonna Grumpy might have to break out the scissors there. Nah, too much specificity. King also said they need to end the Leo experiment. 73927 needs a full stop. Full stop. Too much specificity. King says, don't disagree. Grumpy, hey, we're at the end of the podcast here today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, it means the world to me and the Grumpy Old Man that you listen to us. And again, we're fans of the Islanders. We're the podcast of the fans for the fans. And again, if you enjoy and like this content, make sure you subscribe, like the video, let us know that, hey, you're enjoying what we're putting out there. And also, hey, if you like when we talk about the Islanders, you might also like when we talk about all sports in general. You can find the General Sports Podcast where we just have hot take after hot take. It's literally just an hour of hot takes every single week. You can find that in the description below. But Grumpy, is there anything you want to say before we wrap things up today?
Yes. I just want to say that I'm going to pump the podcast at the beginning of the podcast, not at the end, not 2.5 hours in. But I do want to say, because my computer's just about dead, I just want to say love and laughter to everyone that listens, and even those who don't, from TJ and the Grumpy Old Man.
And thank you again, Grumpy Old Man, for being a part of the podcast. As always, one more comment to the Wiki 50 Cal said, is there any Panarin type of import that we can bring over from Europe? I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for listening, and thank you.